So let's go. Welcome to Talking Trophies.
Oh yeah, if you want,
I'm starting to get over it.
yeah, bro.
I'm starting to get over it after 4 years.
Bro, the way that social media works now with hooks, right?
Yeah.
People start with the middle of the video before they start into the introduction.
Yeah.
I think they like to be. I mean, they don't like. This is how social media is wired at this point. You know, you got to pull them in.
Yeah.
Just get into conversation. It is what it is.
So you just start.
Yeah, you just start. Bro.
Yeah, 'cause
we've got to.
We're starting right now.
I mean, we basically
this is the
started,
start.
and now we can immediately get into what we need to
Yeah.
get into, bro.
You know what? I want to know, how do you stay so enthusiastic when making content? Because all your videos are bang, bang, bang. Me, I'll start, but I don't know. Like, you just go. How do you stay enthusiastic?
Bro, I think I just genuinely love it. Like, it's one of those things that allows me to express myself in my own rules. You know,
Yeah.
like, I think one of the biggest things that annoy me in my life, I'm very happy with my life, but one thing is that I don't get to the places with the crowd I want to be too often. And so content allowed me to do that, especially during COVID, right? COVID was one of the big ones where I go like, I want to feel this feeling with people. I want to tell these stories. I want to live this music. I want to do this and that. And so content allowed me to do that. And I just, every single day, I know what I want to go for.
Yeah.
Right. And so because I love that, I'm just happy to do it.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to have something that I can do in my own free time and just enjoy. I can talk about whatever I want. You're here. You're talking about whatever you want. You could have made this a football podcast. You could have made this a wrestling podcast. You could have made this UFC. And in the end, you chose the conversations that you wanted to do. So how can you not love what you do? How can you not feel it?
Bro, that's the greatest motivation. Great start to 2025, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what it is? No, I get hyped. This is me, yeah?
Yeah.
So a lot of our viewers, the Deves and Davies, they know I get hyped.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go on a crazy spree. I'll just get energy. I start saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But what happens is when I watch it back, I go, damn, why did I say that for? But not in a regretful way. Like, I don't go, why did I say it for? I'm like, I get why I said it. But like, could maybe these jokes land, the jokes I do land without me having to like be super energetic? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could these jokes land with me just being chilled and saying it?
100%.
But I don't think it's me.
It's, bro, like, I think sometimes, you know, people do say this, I'm enthusiastic, but I feel like a lot of times I know how to sort of tone it down, and you can be able to deliver it. It's all in the tone. It's all in the way that, you know, you want to get that message across. And I think, like, if you actually deep some of my videos, you'll see where there's a bit of a lower energy, but it's always, I try to use it to direct a certain message. You know, like if I'm talking about something sad that happened, I'll try to have to change the way that I'm delivering it, you know? I think that's maybe one of the most important things that I take from like watching series.
What's a chill video? I haven't seen a chill video with it. You're either dancing on a table, near a table, at a dining kitchen. There's just bangers going on. It's just loud. The reels you make, if it's like a reel or a story.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the informative, like the
Yeah.
ones where you're actually telling a story.
Yeah.
You're just dancing. What's the story? The dance called? It's called the
The Debke.
Debke. The
bro.
one where they dance, and normally you can go on the walls, right?
100% we can go.
Have you done Have you done it before? Have you done it on the wall?
Yeah, bro. Back at Tanura, this was in 2019, pre-COVID. I went to Tanura, I brought a bunch of random friends, and I said, listen, I need someone with good back strength, good arm strength, because I need you to hold me up onto the stage, onto the wall. I still have a video of it. I can't find it anymore, but I did get a call from my parents the next day and saying, this is not our culture. We don't go up on walls.
So, wait, you're Lebanese, right?
Yeah, Lebanese.
Lebanese don't do walls?
No, we do walls, right?
Okay.
But the debke is like, the walls is like an additional creative part where people go like, that's the uncle who just takes it a bit too far. And I feel like I'm going to mold myself into that someday.
I think
maybe
you're the uncle. You're the uncle.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
You're the uncle. You're very enthusiastic about the culture. You just go a bit overboard. You'll be chilling at, I remember you at a Duf festival.
Yeah, Middle Beast, yeah.
You were at a Duf festival and you're doing the dubke.
Yeah, bro, I literally that day, I went and I was like, I'm only going to watch one event. Nuria and DJ Habibi, it's back to back.
Yeah.
I know they're going to play Debke and I'm going to do my thing. It's just, bro, it makes me feel at home. You know, it's part of the Lebanese culture and you do it with people, bro. It's not individual, you know. I'm not dancing on my own, even though sometimes I just have to dance on my own.
There was one guy that tried in the video that actually tried jumping in.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't fast enough and just gave up.
Yeah, bro. I remember seeing that in the middle of the video. And I just go like, I know it's over, but like yesterday, I was at this Cornish restaurant, you know, watching a singer do his thing. And me and this other guy, like an actual uncle, 60 years old, he starts jumping and dancing, which he does at the start. And I start following him. And then there's a lady next to me who's leading the ladies as they're doing the normal one and not the jumping crazy one. And then she's just like, what are these guys doing? Like, they're just literally doing the dabke and just talking about us and gossiping because me and him look like we're, you know, two crazy uncles going overboard. But I'm proud of it, bro. Like, a lot of people ask me, why do you go overboard? But, man, it's a healthy way.
It's beautiful. I've been saying this, like, I've been on this, maybe the last year-ish.
Yeah.
Something similar.
Yeah.
Where I just genuinely have this love for Eritrean culture.
Yeah.
I love, like, for example, and I found that it was like a moment. It was a moment where I was in a wedding. It was one of my friends' weddings. And everyone started dancing. I'm like, I don't dance.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'm not a dancer, whatever. And I'm just like, bro, this is probably this guy's most happiest day of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't I enjoying this and celebrating this? And
Exactly.
and this is my culture. This is who we've been having this culture for generations.
100%.
I should be indulging this and like in dancing and celebrating and bringing joy because, bro, at the end of the day, that's all you really have in life, experiences. So, man, I just jumped in the circle. You know the Eritrean dance?
Yeah.
Shoulders, a bit of that.
Shoulder and then,
Yeah, so I went in the circle, but I really had fun.
Because it's different, bro.
Yeah.
Like, especially, this is very relevant to us as Australian.
Diasporas?
You know, so the diasporas, because it's very easy to see there's a huge divide. So I'll talk about Lebanese Australians, and I'm sure the same thing with the Eritrean Australians and Sudan. Sorry?
I'll put the mic closer, I think.
So this is very relevant to the Arab Australian culture or African Australian, basically the diasporas in Australia, because it's, look, we have to integrate, you know, we have to take things. But I think the beauty is when you combine, like, how many amazing Australian Lebanese, Australian Italian, Australian Sudanese things that we've seen, you know, manifest across these last decades from all the families that have been immigrating, right? But at the same time, you lose culture if you don't follow up with it, if you don't speak the language, if you don't know the music, if you don't know the reason why you wear certain things, right? Like, already one of the, like, the biggest divide, I would say, between Levantine Arabic and Gulf Arabic is in Saudi and the UAE, they still wear the traditional clothing, but in Lebanon and Syria, it's not as much. It's very much modernized and, you know, westernized a bit.
But Lebanese are not Arabs, right?
Oh,
You're not, look, I don't want to get into the politics.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I love reading stuff and Lebanese people are French, right?
No, so it's
Or have a degree of French.
so yeah, no, a lot of Lebanese people speak French. It's essentially a third or even second language in Lebanon. But the reason Lebanon's history and origins is so disputed is because everything from the Phoenician era, you know, to the Philistines when they first came to that side, and then the Phoenician era, and you know, all the conquests that happened. And so, because Lebanon is or has many different sects, so you have Sunni Islam, you have Shia Islam, you have Christian, Maronite, Druze, you have all these different religions and sects. So that is one of the points that people kind of disagree on. Now, I'm personally a person that I'm Lebanese, right? I'm Lebanese Australian, so I'm proud of the cultures that I've come from. I'm proud of the places that I've lived in. What my ancestors were doing 700 years ago, I don't know. Am I originally Turkish, Ottoman Empire? Am I originally Armenian? Am I originally Phoenician? I will never know. All I can do is transfer a good message from the cultures I do know right now. So yeah, that's what I think about it.
Welcome, Talking Trophies, the podcast of rabbit holes. 2025, we're going deep into rabbit holes.
Yeah.
We tend to do this. You see,
Yeah.
I don't know how we ended up into our Lebanese people French,
Yeah.
but that's what Talking Trophies is about.
I love that.
You know, we're focused. Last year, we were trying to stop ourselves, but a lot of our Deves and Davies, that's what we call our listeners, they're like, yo, we love the rabbit holes, get into them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're going to figure out things this year by going through these rabbit holes, because I think that's how things are solved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think people just sit down, discuss things, get into rabbit holes, and that's where the ideas spark from.
Bro, 100%. I've already gotten 3 ideas from the different rabbit holes we went in, and I completely agree, man. I love speaking about things that aren't set in stone. You know, like in my football work, a lot of the work I do is, all right, so how do you feel after the match? What did that celebration mean to you? That's the same questions, and you get the politically correct answers. Yeah, it was a great game. Thank you to the team. Thank you to the coach. The fans have been amazing watching us. And it gets very basic. So because of that sort of stability that you have in football questions, I like to completely do the opposite when I'm speaking in a podcast. So I'm honored to do this today, bro.
Yeah.
We got it 3 days before I go back to Saudi. Let's get it done and dusted, bro.
We locked it in before. We're recording this 9:30 at night. I got work tomorrow in the morning.
Yeah.
But we need to do this episode. The last time we did the episode was in Qatar, in the
Qatar.
World Cup in Souq Waqif.
Bro, and
I missed that place. I got a friend actually, because we still have the group chat from the World Cup. He just keeps sending these nostalgic videos of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I wish I was back there, man.
Bro, the World Cup was like a magical time, bro.
Yeah.
30 to 40 days you spend in Qatar, small country. You could go to all the stadiums, you could experience everything. And bro, I don't think there was a place in the world that had so many different nationalities concentrated in such a small area. And everyone was just having fun, bro. Contrary to what the media said. But we already discussed that.
Yeah,
when
we
were
spoke about
there.
that.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Everyone I know is saying it's the best, also the best World Cup ever.
Yeah, 100%.
They're like, well, nothing was like this.
Bro,
and they loved it.
Like, bro, I'm so stressed about the US Club World Cup. Forget the World Cup, US, Canada, Mexico, bro. I tried to analyze, is it possible to go to every single game at the Club World Cup? And financially, it costs above $70,000 for a month if you're going to go on all these flights and all these rents and all these everything. Like, it's insane, right? So now think about the fact that Qatar, like, people actually did going 4 games a day. Like, there were a few content creators like Togden who reached like 62 or 63 games. When will you ever have a tournament? Maybe in Bahrain one day, but I don't think they'll get the World Cup.
Maybe Eritrea, chuck in a bid.
Yeah, chuck in a bid now, 2038. It's open.
Is it?
Yeah, so no, if Maghreb is doing Africa 2030, then I think it's two different World Cups. So 2042.
2042, Eritrea's chucking in an official bid. How do I apply?
Bro, just send in a proposal. And
Saudi got it. Saudi got the World Cup.
Saudi got it.
And I want to talk about Saudi because, you know, the thing is, everyone has this belief that Cristiano Ronaldo is the reason. There's a theory that that's why he was brought to Saudi, so they could put in a bid for the World Cup and advertise the country. But I genuinely think you're the guy that actually brought the World Cup to Saudi with your content creating. You're the guy that brought the...
Bro.
Bro, you went there, you're working... I'm crazy. If you guys don't know, he's a content creator that moved to Saudi Arabia, lives in Riyadh now, and he's working there as a content creator. Like, bro, we do this podcast and we pay and we don't make money out of this. You go there, you live in a different country and you're getting paid. How did that happen?
First of all, like, always alhamdulillah, bro. Alhamdulillah. Like, genuinely, to be in that position, I'm very lucky. You know, I think Saudi is one of the places that I really, really have enjoyed and really acclimatized to very quickly. When I came to Australia, it took me about 3-4 years to get used to it here. But Saudi, it took me 1 year, right? And now I just feel like it's home. I do miss Australia a lot, but Saudi... See, the thing is, back in 2013, I was 13 years old and I used to watch Premier League, right? I go to watch Liverpool, my team, in England with my dad, and then I say, okay, you know what? When I come back to Dubai, I want to watch the games live. I support my local team in Dubai. Naturally, you're watching the UAE League. You start watching the Saudi League because the Saudi League has the biggest games in the region. Went on Twitter, started doing English. My Arabic wasn't too good. I'm like, I need to learn Arabic. Started testing myself in Arabic by writing and analyzing football games in Saudi. Built a following of 50K, built a lot of good networks. And one day in COVID, right, 6 years later, I get a call from one of those networks. And that's why your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
6 years later, bro. Like, imagine we've spoken to each other twice in 6 years. But then he remembered me. And he was like, yo, man, I know it's COVID. I know you can't leave Australia. I need a bit of remote work done. You know, translation here, content creation there, content strategy. Done. Did well. That moved forward. Did well. And then I was like, you know, one day I need to just go there on my own. Saudi is going through this completely new change. And I think that if football content is going to grow out of any country, Saudi's in the top 3. And so I find myself there. I do a few events here and there. And suddenly I find myself in a position where I can actually take all my knowledge and content to help clients in Saudi Arabia. And it's been an absolutely incredible journey.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go back for phase 2.
How's the life there?
Bro, it's very interesting because I went from Dubai, then Melbourne, and then Saudi Arabia. So it's 3 completely different places with a lot of similarities. Now, Dubai, obviously, is a city. Dubai compared to Riyadh, forget Saudi Arabia, Dubai compared to Riyadh is like a small neighborhood there, right? So Riyadh is absolutely massive. But I love that. I love the desert. I'm a big fan of the desert. I love the fact that people are very hospitable there. I feel at home. Every single person I have an interaction with. And I think, like, it just allows me to focus on work a lot, you know? It just, I cannot do much besides focusing on work because... I mean, first of all, I really like the environment there, bro. It's a nighttime culture. I love working creatively at night.
Yes,
So
that was something about the Middle East.
I love going to a coffee shop at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
right?
and grabbing a coffee.
Yeah, grabbing a coffee, bro.
At 2 a.m.
And then going to sleep directly after waking up with that caffeine still in your system. Like, it has a nighttime culture. The city does not sleep. I can go at 3 in the morning to get coffee to a place that's maybe a kilometer away, and I go 10, 15 minutes, there's traffic. I love that, bro. It doesn't sleep. I'm here in Brody, and it's like 10 cars, bro.
Yeah.
At 9:30 on a Sunday, right? In Saudi, impossible. In fact, sometimes I don't like to go out of the house in Saudi because I'm like, too much people. Too many people.
Yeah.
Here's the complete opposite. But it's nice here. Tranquility, serene. But Saudi is a place that I love to be in because you talk about that enthusiasm, right? I feel like Saudi gives that to me. Saudi, I get so many bursts of energy. In Australia, I'm just chilling, man.
I think from my experience, it's a very authentic and genuine energy you get there.
Yeah.
It's not really artificial. I feel like people in a way, like you live in the West, I think people are really like just in their zone, locked in, individualistic.
Yeah.
But over there, it's a genuine, it's like, yo, if someone's going to help me, like, obviously it's a business transaction. Let's just say you're in a city, you're like, oh, I want to do tourists, I want to go sightseeing.
Yeah.
You can pull a random guy, just put your hand down the street, some guy will pull over. You'll be like, hey, I'll give you this much amount, I'll give you 100 Australian dollars, take me around the city.
Oh.
The guy will look at you and be like, give me 120, brother. 120. I go, come on, man, we meet halfway, 110. He goes, okay, my friend. But so he's like, it's very tense, little tense. When it comes to, I'll tell you something about Arabs.
Yeah.
The Arabs, man, when it comes to bidding with the Arabs, the auction, it's a very intense, but don't get sucked in.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. It's all business.
Yeah.
But once the handshake is done,
Yeah. It's done and dusted,
Habib,
bro.
he's your uncle, your friend, your mentor,
Everything.
your student, anything you want, you're driving around. And he'll take you around the city with passion, love, everything. He'll take you to his
100%.
family. You'll see
100%.
his kids. I just love that about the Middle East.
And that's, bro, like sometimes it's not even about negotiating prices. Genuinely, people there love to have you go and explore different things and take you on experiences. Like, man, I never heard about this about Saudi Arabia before I came there. But then when I go there and I interact with either Saudi people or, you know, foreign residents in Saudi Arabia, they all have different vibes and different things to do that is more than just, you know, I don't know how to say it. It's just we come together, speak, have some coffee and chai. It's just, you know, how Arab culture is, bro. Like sometimes just having a few sunflower seeds and tea.
That's the thing, man. I'm not a fan of sunflower seeds.
Like
I'm going to say something, and
Not a fan of sunflower.
it's the ultimate reveal for talking trophies because I do have allergies, and I never mentioned it on talking trophies ever.
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. I'm allergic to sunflower seeds, and they can kill me.
All right. No. Fair enough. That's fair enough. When
I've
it's
never
allergies-
said it. These and Davies, you got the exclusive. Don't tell anyone. You tell anyone, you're going to set me up.
What about pumpkin seeds?
Even worse.
Well, those are the best too, bro.
I know, bro. That's
Pumpkin
the thing.
and sunflower, man.
I know. It's big in Arab cultures. That's why I'm not a fan. Tasali. Tasali, isn't it called Tasalia? Tasali?
The brand?
The seeds or something, whatever it's called.
Tasali, maybe in a different culture.
Sudan, I think they call it Tasali.
We say hab or bizr in Lebanon, hab in Emirat, fusfus in some countries, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
bro,
It's got a
across
bunch
the
of
whole
names.
Arab world,
They just
man,
love it. They love it.
We have our different
Yeah.
slangs, man. It's absolutely...
Yeah, it's unique. You go, I don't know how the dialects happen, but like one guy came there, taught someone Arabic, and the guy's like, you know what, let me add some slang to that.
Bro,
And
but
yeah, just different. Like I can't understand Lebanese Arabic.
like I can't understand...
Moroccan?
Yeah, when they go hard, right?
Yeah.
When they use a bit of fusha, I can. Like my barber, he always used to speak to me, I would understand him. One day he got a call from his friend. He went absolutely turbo.
Started
and
freestyle rapping.
Bro,
Yeah.
I like Spanish and Portuguese,
Yeah.
way easier than Moroccan Arabic. And it's not like in a bad way, like Moroccan Arabic is so diverse because they have mixes of English, French, Spanish, and Berber and Tamazight. And Arabic. Like, bro, they just mesh it all into one. Like, even when you listen to their music, a lot of Moroccan rappers are hitting hard these days. Like, they're able to blend between all these different sounds and languages. And so Morocco, I think genuinely some of the most diverse people when it comes to languages and cultures in the world.
They are. They're a mix, and they're a mix of a bunch of cultures and people.
And almost like all of them speak 3 languages minimum.
Yeah.
Like there's a few countries in the world where you just know these people, like in Uzbekistan, for example, Uzbek, English, Russian, you know? So there's some countries where like you're born
it's
with
Western
default
countries.
three languages. Bro.
It's Western countries that are like if you're, I think it's English speaking countries.
Yeah.
We just don't speak other languages. But you go to other countries, they pick up around like 3 languages, 4 languages. It's strange.
And then like example, the Uzbek Russian is different to the Kyrgyz Russian because they will all have their different ways. And
Yes.
it might be the same way of writing, which is like Arabic. You know, we write the same way as Egypt, but completely different things, completely different meanings. Like there's a word in Lebanese, fashkha, for example. This is a swear word in Egyptian, but in Lebanon it's just like, you know, something small. So that is how diverse Arabic is, that you can have something that is the best compliment to someone.
Top three Arab countries. Top 3 Arab countries. And we'll go by people.
By people or by language? Like what?
People, like you just love them. Top 3.
Okay. This is very hard because I'm one of those like all life matters Arabs. Like I love everyone, you know?
Is there such thing as ALM?
Huh?
Arab lives matters?
But
all right, you got to go top 3.
Yeah, but I will have to go top 3. All right.
Like from interactions you've had.
I'm not going to say Lebanese, you know? Like
okay, let's exclude Lebanese.
Yeah. But definitely Syrian. Man, like Syrian friends, like we just always have laughs with the Syrian friends. And Debke, crazy. Like
are they wallers? They're the wall as well?
Bro, they're more than wall. Like there's maybe 17 different types of Debke in Syria.
Okay.
Everything they just love it. You know, like the most overboard people I meet with Debke are Syrian. And so that's why I love them. Like I just know I meet a Syrian guy, come on, bro. Yeah, on the walls, on the tables, on the chairs. Second, like obviously Saudi, bro. Saudi, like, man, you know when you get greeted by Saudis, it's like they verbally hug you. You know, they treat you with so much comfort that you can't help but feel at home.
Okay.
Right? So, and then Saudis are also extremely funny. Like, I just love hanging out with them. Like, فيهم روح. There's a spirit about them that is just so funny when it comes to comedy.
Yeah.
Right? And then... Now, this one could be very easy, like, you know, of course, Palestine, you know, Ahl Palestine, whether, like, we're also going to talk about them in the sense of the Debke, bro, they're معلمين الدبكة.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, man, you know what I'm just, especially when I come into Campbellfield, what I think of, bro, Kanafa, you know, especially
it originated in Palestine?
So, again, I'm not here to say where Lebanese are from, where did the shawarma originate from, where did the kanafa originate from. I shall not answer any of these questions.
Why? Come on.
Because like...
Who makes the best kanafa then?
Bro, come on. Like, think about it this way, right? The borders, right, were drawn up by probably a drunk English guy back in the day, right? The Levant, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, Syria, we really all just one.
That's Ahl al-Sham.
Yeah, Ahl al-Sham.
Yeah,
you know, even Iraq. Like, it's really all just one big country. Yeah. So, technically, right, if they were making shawarma back in 1792... right? You probably say, okay, Ottoman Empire, but you're not going to really be like, oh, it's an Ottoman thing. But خلاص, إنه شامي. So, for me, hummus, shami. You know, it's not like we're pizza. Like
look, the Israelis got a claim on the hummus too. The Israelis got a claim, and apparently, guys, hey, look, they do have a claim, man. I was watching a video. Sometimes I watch random videos, and I was watching a video about Israeli culture and food, and hummus was one of the meals presented.
I mean, bro, they have loan words in Arabic. They have loan foods in Arabic. They even have loan beats in Arabic. Yani ana, you know, this is the rabbit hole that you don't come out of.
That's the problem.
You know, like the other day, a few of my friends and I, we went 3 hours and 23 minutes into a conversation until I told them, guys, we got to stop. Like 3 hours and 23 minutes. I think no one's getting convinced at this point, right? But, man... This is the thing that I think is very hypocritical from Western media and very hypocritical from everywhere else, right? The beautiful things from our culture, and this is not just with Arab culture, but again, it's known as cultural appropriation, but I hate the term cultural appropriation. Why? Because it's not just everything is cultural appropriation, right? You know, if somebody wears the Lebanese dress, I don't consider that, oh, they're specifically a person who's taking the good thing out of my culture and ignoring the bad thing. Not every person is like that, right? But the way that Western media looks at it, right? It's like, oh, yeah, we love your shawarmas. We love your hummus. We're going to make some chocolate hummus. Very offensive, by the way. Yeah, chocolate hummus. But then, oh, you guys are this. You guys are this label. You guys are crazy. You guys are fanatics. And I go like, man, you know when you talk about like 2 billion people, whether you talk about it as Muslims or as Arabs, like, bro, that's a lot of diverse thinking. Like, in every culture, in every religion, in every sect, there's just a lot of diverse thinking. So it's very hard to paint those people with one brush. And so when you see that, like, you're taking the beautiful things from our culture, but deliberately trying to disassociate it from us, like, you know, let's convince them shawarma is Israeli. And that's how we take it away from them and give them just the bad things. Yeah, we took the shawarma and they're just the terrorists. Like, no, man. And I think, the last year and a half, like, we did this podcast in 2022 at the Qatar World Cup talking about the media and the Western media bias. 1 year later, exactly, that's when the whole Palestine thing happened. And that's when we saw the Western media go completely apeshit, right? 2022 was bad. Everything Qatar, bad. Everything Arab world, bad. 2023, October 2023 afterwards, it was hell. Yeah. So that's my thought on these things. But we go back.
Let's get out of the rabbit hole.
We go back.
We go to number 3.
Number 3. Bro,
you're going to say Palestinians.
Like, bro, the knafa in Abu Siya.
Yeah.
You know, like, man, the cheese and the sugar syrup and the hospitality that comes with it. There's just something different about it. I don't think there is a richer meal in this world than the knafa and Abu Siya that the Palestinians make. And you see, each nationality that I like, there's an aspect of them that I like. For some it's food, with some it's culture, with some it's history. But like, as you know, in Nushara to a lot, to the rest of the Arab nations too, but 100%, fi some that I haven't interacted with fully, but like honorable mention, Oman. I've met like a couple of Omani people in my life.
Yeah.
But when I was in Qatar for the Asian Cup, I met an Omani guy at the airport, and he actually went and took me with his car all the way to the stadium, and he didn't know me. Like, bro, how amazing. And he didn't want anything from me. He didn't take money. He wouldn't accept taking money. He was
what did I say? La wallah, wallah, la,
wallah, mate. Bro, today, we're going to Woolies, and I was with an Emirati friend here in Australia. Bro, he saw me take out my phone. He snatched it. He put it like this.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, we'd have to deep it.
Who started that?
Bro.
Like, where does it come from? I have it as well. I'm not as intense.
Yeah.
So, with Arab friends, when I'm hanging out with them, whatever, it's a bit more aggressive. And I'm like, bro, it's not that. Like, chill out. But with the Africans, it's like, come on, relax. No, that's it. With the Arab, I feel offended if you spend.
No. It's like, wallah.
And if you do it, even after the defense, and you end up somehow sneaking through and paying, that is the most disrespectful form of anything you could do. That is worse than insulting their family member. They look at you like you're not the same.
Bro, in fact, the modern version of this, like between us and, the age in the 20s and our generation and stuff is now one guy goes and he says, I'm going to the bathroom. He comes back and he says, Yalla, let's leave. And it's like, what, the bill's paid? Embarrassing you like that because, bro, they know. Because he knows if he did it right there, we're getting into a fight.
Yeah.
So, خلينا نتجنب the embarrassment. Sorry for the Arabic I'm putting here.
It's all right.
But, look, it doesn't matter the culture, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the type of Arab, where they're from, what religion, what sect. You best believe you're going to get into a fist fight or the equivalent of an arm wrestling match just trying to pay that bill.
Where does it come from? Where does it come from? What's the root of it?
Man, look, there's a lot, right? I think, and this obviously started with Arab men, I think just, when you pay for things, right? And you say, like, I came and, like, I provided this. I'm a provider. I'm the one who did this. I invited you. I do not want to make you suffer at all. No, let me suffer. And I'm proud of what I made so that I can give to you in some way. That is not to deny and say that there is no narcissistic aspect to it. There is a little bit there where some people go like, no, I just won't accept anyone to pay for me. I don't want a single dollar in debt on my name. There's no way in hell that I have somebody put it over my head. And so there are. So it just depends on the person. But what it stems from really is the fact that, it's like, no, we're inviting you. You're a guest, especially when you're a guest, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like if I came to Saudi and I invited a Saudi person living there for a meal, there'd actually be a problem. Like, أنت ضيف عنا, you are a guest here and you're paying for me. Like the equivalent to almost spitting in my face. That's what I'm saying, Because, when you're a guest, when you're invited, and that's another thing. And when you come into an Arab's home, best believe you have a mattress just ready for you on the side, just in case anything goes wrong. It's, again, hospitality. It doesn't mean that, as I said, no narcissism بالموضوع, no anger.
I do think it's a form of hypermasculinity as well, in a way.
Definitely.
A degree of it. But you know what it is too, but you can look at it that way. The thing is, you can look at everything differently. I think it's a subjective thing. But generally, I think it comes from that hospitality and the culture of hospitality. Yeah. And I think them seeing, for example, their father do the same. Or you know what I mean? And it's a thing a man should always do and provide. But you know what it is? It leaked into the women. The women like to do a little bit of the tussle. They'll pick on your hijab a little bit. Now I'm paying, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'll reveal your hair right now in front of public. I will reveal your hair in front of these non-Muslims and they will see your hair if you do not let me pay. And she's like, all right, chill out, I'll pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
bro.
it's a genuine form of love. You know what I mean? I think it's a form of love, and it's like I appreciate you, and I want to show you my love for you by spending money on you.
And look, us Arabs, man, we have our ways of showing love, no matter how toxic or aggressive they can be. It's still love. You know, love is love, even if it's aggressive, even if you're angry about it. Because I know for a fact that, like, it's literally just expression of love. Like, how different. Like, for my grandma, for example, her expression for love, of love, is making food. It's like, Teta, I do not want you to trouble yourself and cook 2 kilos of meat in the space of a few hours, right? Like, rest, Hadi, I'll order us some food, I'll get us coffee. No. She will get angry if you bring food from outside. No, I will. Age of 65, I don't care. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to make sure that's good for you. It's just the way that it is in the culture, man. Sometimes it's unexplainable and you just say, Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful. Like, that my grandma is, up until this day, look how old she is, look how tired she is, look how much her body's in pain.
But she's got that love. She's willing to do that, yeah.
Love, exactly.
That's the thing. Something I noticed about Arabs is you guys are very passionate people. Very passionate. Very. And the thing with passion is it has its positives and unfortunately has some of its negatives. You guys love hard, but you hate hard as well. When you hate, it's hate. And it's hard to get back. Saudis are all right, but I don't mind Saudis. Like, from what I've noticed, I've seen Saudis, they're really like, they'll be like, yo, they will seek your forgiveness. Yeah. For some reason, like, if you did them wrong, they will seek your forgiveness. But, like, generally, like, Arabs love, and you guys are great with words, by the way. You guys got words for, like Rizz should be used in Arabic. Yeah. The way you can tell a woman, I love you in Arabic is 100%. Insane.
100%. Not just I love you. Like, there's just things that you can express in Arabic that you can't express in English, man. Like, I was actually, in fact, I would do this. There's this song by a Lebanese singer. What he does is he tells a story and then he goes into the debke and the loud music, and then he tells a story without the music. He goes back into the song and it connects. So he says, like, you know, this girl, I wanted to marry her. Her family said no, she wanted to marry someone with money. And then he says, okay, I've just got one request. And then he gets into the song, right? So when my foreign friends listen to it, I try to explain it to them, like, live, right? And there's things that he's saying that are so beautiful, right? But when you say it in English, it means the exact same thing. It's a word-for-word translation, but it just doesn't hit the same.
Yep.
It just does not hit the same. And you've got the main Arabic, which is Fusha, the colloquial, and then you've got the dialects, and then you've got the dialects of the dialects. Like, for example, my mate from Baalbek in Lebanon, northeast, he has a completely different accent to me from Beirut, or I would even consider my accent more international Lebanese, and international Lebanese who's gone to Dubai. So imagine all those different dialects. There's so many different ways of expressing your love in Arabic.
What about Mishmish? Shout out Mishmish as well.
Shout out Mishmish?
Mishmish, the city, isn't it? Peaches.
Yeah, Mishmish is peaches.
Yeah, the city in Lebanon. Mishmish, you're from Mishmish?
I'm from Mishmish?
No, like I'm saying, you say you're from Mishmish, not you. Yeah. Like Lebanese people, there's a certain area called Mishmish, yeah? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, shout out Mishmish. No. Because we had a guest on from Mishmish, and I'm just giving Mishmish a shout out.
I was just, my brain went like, what are we talking about peaches? I was like, peaches a club? But yeah, bro, Lebanon has the crazy, Lebanon and Syria, by the way, you've got some random little villages with the most random names. Like, you've got Furnish Shabek, which is the oven of the window, you know, Mishmish, which is peach, and a lot that are not on my mind right now. But like, we do have the most random names. Like, we could even scroll onto Google Maps right now and we could go and just look at these different places. And
it's random names.
Yeah, and it's just random. You don't know who named them, but I mean, absolutely fantastic names. You don't often say them in public, or with your friends at least, because you know the boys will take the piss, right? But like, I love the creativity we have with names. You know?
Arabs are different, bro. Yeah. Let's get out of that ultimate rabbit hole. We're gonna get just out, and I want to come back to Saudi. Yeah, Saudi Arabia has, I think, a bad rep in the West. When you say Saudi Arabia, even for example, with me, I went to Saudi Arabia. I did Umrah, but I remember coming, like, I'm explaining it. This is ages ago. I was explaining it at work. I'm like, oh, yeah, I went to Saudi. And they're like, ooh, what are you doing there? You know what I mean? Like, how is it there? And then just people, like, for example, in my footy club as well, saying, oh, I went to Saudi. Ooh, like, just, what are you doing at Saudi? Like, I'm like, oh, I did pilgrimage, but I also got family that lived there. So I went around the country, I went the cities and stuff. Shout out Jeddah, shout out Macorona. I went there, Jeddah. You know, I went there and they're like, what are you doing there? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what is there to do there?
Yeah. A lot of Aussies, though, by the way, in Riyadh right now.
Yeah, I heard there's a big change. Like a lot of people are moving there for work, but like there's this thing, and it's like, oh, you can't live. Women don't have rights. What other stereotypes are there? It's an extreme country. There's nothing to do there, and then you go there.
Yeah.
And I'm at shopping centers at 1 a.m. chilling. There's kids running around, families, people enjoying their life. Look, there's an issue I have with the Saudis. You got to learn how to drive. There needs to be some laws on the driving because there's a couple of drivers that are a bit, how you going, bro? There was, we went from Medina to Mecca. I kid you not, the guy was driving at 170 kilometers the whole way.
Bro.
And I'm like,
That's slow. That's slow. That's slow,
hey,
bro.
and it was a busted out car.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
car
yeah.
was at least a 1992
Yeah,
model.
yeah,
The
yeah.
guy was just flying, and I'm like, is this even safe? I hate on the driving, but besides that, coming back to the point, how is it actually living there? Like, you spoke a bit about it and the beauty of it, but like, let's just say you came with those thoughts in your head from the West.
Yeah.
How is it there?
Well, first of all, I see up until today, playing 2025, we see people saying things about Saudi that are either completely not true or years ago they would have been true, right? And you know, one of the funniest things that X or Twitter is talking about right now is how, you know, certain people, certain sects, certain places, they've done things to change. Or like, you know, when let's say somebody from England criticizes somebody from the UAE, the Emirati person says, but you guys did this, they'll say, oh, we've changed, we don't do this anymore. Okay, so why are certain countries not allowed to change, right? This is a big question that I ask. Number two, when you talk about the lifestyle in Saudi, I don't think I've ever felt safer anywhere in my life. Very safe, very chill. Now, obviously, yes, you speak about the roads. Obviously, this is a different one. I would say if, you know, between Saudi, Australia, and the UAE, Saudi has the most erratic driving. I have come to like it because it makes the road so much easier to drive when there's no traffic. I feel like here it's very monotonous, a lot of one lanes, a lot of two lanes. You have to specifically indicate into a certain lane. There, it's Hunger Games. You see the space that you need to get into.
You get in there.
That's your space.
Yeah.
And you need to prove that, like, you need to show that's your space. You need to go in hard 2 feet in,
Yeah.
right? And over time, you'll get used to it. Over time, you're just going to have a sixth sense knowing that when there's a car coming behind you, when they do the diagonals on a 7-lane, or not a 7-lane freeway, a 5-lane freeway, all the way from there to there, 140, without even indicating. They do it every day. But I have to say, right, a lot of people will consider that driving erratic, but they're so talented at driving. Like, you have to imagine, like, they'll crash, right? But like, I know people who've crashed 3 times in maybe 10 years, and they drive like that every day. Right?
Wait. Crash 3 times in 10 years is still wild, bro.
It's still wild. And
Bro, just crashing in general is wild, man. Yeah. What the hell? I love how, like, he's like, look, we drive crazy, but 3 times, that's still crazy, bro.
Man, I think, like, look,
3 times
consider the amount of accidents you see every day. Like, one day I actually was on this 1 hour ride and I saw 6 accidents on that 1 hour ride, right? It is absolutely insane, but it's just, man, it just makes it interesting. I don't know, like, you know, let's say we're going to a kashta, which is basically when you go together to a desert, you set up a little tent, you know, nice vibes, put some music, shisha and tea. And I'll have to go to this place that's like southwest, 1.5 hour drive. I know that going into southwest, I'm going to be flashed like crazy. I know people aren't going to be indicating. I know there's not going to be lights, maybe no lanes in these areas. But bro, you have to focus. You know, like here in Australia, it's just chill. I can go at 60. You know, there's nothing crazy happening, right? Maybe you get one guy in a Subaru going crazy, but that's really it, right? No one's going over the speed limit. There, man, oh my God.
You actually got to drive.
Yeah, and so every drive is just like
a roller coaster, yeah.
And I used to do a lot of these, so I do a lot of live coverage for the Asian Football Confederation, right? And sometimes we have 12-hour days, like there's just 12 hours of games in a row. So I come to the office, you know, meet with the partners, we look at how to cover the games, and then I'm supposed to leave, right? But because there's no break between games, or there's like 15 or 20 minutes, sometimes I'll have to be covering games live. So I'd be on the middle of the rush hour freeway with my laptop there, typing, driving with one hand, and I've started to learn how to move it with my knee,
Move
right?
what with
So,
your knee?
Yeah, move the steering wheel with my knee.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah,
You gotta press
Okay.
like this, and you gotta go on the laptop and just make sure that you're looking. And thankfully, I mean, I haven't gotten into a crash until now. Like, you just have to understand the way people drive. You have to know that, like. And by the way, when I came here, I didn't find it hard to drive back on the right side again because I understood. In Saudi, I can't drive like I'm in Australia, and in Australia, I can't drive like I'm in Saudi.
Yep.
Here in Australia, I indicate. Even at 3 in the morning, going into a roundabout when there's no one there, I will indicate right.
Yeah.
But in Saudi, there could be 7 cars behind me, and I probably just forget to indicate. Like it's just second nature to forget it. And in fact, when you do indicate and you're driving with someone like Saudi, it was like, bro, why are you indicating? Man, I gotta tell them where I'm going. He's like, you guys do that in Australia? I'm like, you get fined if you don't. You know, if they catch you and you're going there, you get fined or something, right? He goes, that's wild, bro. I'm like, bro, I think the way you guys is wild.
There's an indicator on the car for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, what's it for? So, you know, it's just like, man, sometimes they don't even need the 4 wheels, bro. They're driving on 2 wheels.
Yeah, I've seen the videos. They get out of the car, they're driving 2 wheels. Yeah, the driving's a bit, how you going with there? They're a bit chaotic.
Yeah.
I personally like the rules.
Yeah.
I like the rules here. I think we need rules.
Yeah.
The thing is, but you find a lot of Australians, we do a lot of middle brain driving.
Mm.
So middle brain driving is when you're subconsciously
you just
drive. And you're like, how did I get there? A lot of people think they're going crazy, but I actually looked into this. You're not going crazy. It's it's like your instincts in a way, subconscious. You'll be like, oh, how did I get here? You know, a lot of people do that. They'll drive from work home.
Yeah.
But their middle brain drives for like 90% of the way.
Yeah.
And they're like, how am I already in Werribee? Or like, how am I already in Broadmeadows? And they drove from the city. But it's their middle brain driving. When you're in Saudi, it's straight frontal, like your brain's working, you're concentrating, you know every, like where turn, everything that happened.
Bro, you have to have your eyes 10 or 10 as they say. And 10 is basically colloquial for like just...
Isn't it? Wait, it's 2020.
10
Is that what they say here?
عيونك 10 that's what my grandma would tell me.
No way.
So
We call it 2020 vision. 2020 vision is
so I mean 10 could be, I mean it's
half the vision's good enough.
It could be just my grandma and how she says it, because grandmas sometimes like to be a bit creative with what they say. But you have to have your eyes open the whole time. It just that's the way it is. And so yes, it's frontal lobe, it's no middle brain, like maybe from work now, because work to home is 15 minutes. It's come to the point where even with all of the stuff that happens, I just middle brain it, bro. I know that I have to go right in here. And I remember one of my Saudi friends told me this when I told them, bro, so when you're exiting, you're driving on the left, so you want to exit out into the right, onto the service road. How do you know, like, you need to quickly check your blind spot because there's 7 cars driving at 120 behind you and there's 7 cars coming on the service road behind you. I'm like, how do you know it's safe to go on your blind spot? He's like, bro, you just look, and he's like, press on the gas. He's like, you just gotta go. And he's like, if you show them you're confident, no one's gonna willingly crash into you.
Yeah.
He said, most crashes happen not from the people. I mean, what is this? Trust me, bro, source, right? But
I know. He told me the ones that when
most crashes are when people go slower and they think twice. He's like, no, you just gotta go in, bro, because
I say that too. I was with my cousin driving, and he was trying to indicate. I'm like, you can't do that. You gotta press the accelerator and move into the thing. You don't brake in it. You gotta accelerate and just push in.
Because look, worst case scenario, he's gonna break.
Yeah,
you gotta show the alpha mentality. It's like I don't know if you've seen the video on Instagram recently where he goes like, if I tell a brother after you, cuz I can't go after you, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that's that same thing. Like I'll control, and that goes back to the whole thing about paying, bro. You realize the patterns with Arab men, Arabs in general, bro. We really love that control. We're passionate about control.
Yeah.
So imagine with the you hate hard, you love hard. We control hard too.
Yeah.
We control
everything's hard. The hard life, get hard.
Yeah, like everything we do to the maximum. The depth is to the maximum. The spices to the maximum. Like even, I mean, we love our food to the maximum.
Yeah.
You can't, like, I once went to a Lebanese restaurant. I was like, I just want a plate of kharouf mahshi, right? Meat and rice. That's it. Where's the hummus, the bread, the pickled turnips, the fijl, the drinks, or the actual meal. Like you can't just have a plate. You have to have, and bro, when you actually deep it, like when you get 18 and you go like, okay, I'm a bit overweight or I'm a bit underweight, I need to understand the whole calorie situation. Bro, they're literally putting out tables worth 10 to 15,000 calories if you really deep it. The hummus, the garlic, the spicy mayo, all on its own. Then the meat, the bread, bro. The bread. You know how much bread?
Yeah,
So we're eating.
bread's bad. Bread's
Bro.
bad. Iraqis make the best bread, but
Look, I love our Lebanese Arabic bread. It's great, but Iraqi bread, bro, there's just a crisp to it.
Yeah.
And it's a mixture of soft and crisp. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
always been
we did like a food review here.
Yeah.
That bread, sometimes I just think about it sometimes, you know what I mean?
And Turkish bread is good. It's a very good contender. I like it, but the texture, right?
Yeah.
Turkish bread works with specific things, you know, just like Arabic bread. Again, every bread works with specific things, but the one that I can eat plain, like if I'm hungry, I can eat plain and feel the texture and the taste and feel like I'm fulfilled. Iraqi bread for sure.
Iraqi bread.
Iraqi bread is for the
Yeah,
win.
but the thing is, a lot of the food is too much carbs,
Too much.
too much calories.
Bro, like, think about it this way, right? My mom, right now, she's making at home rice with kafta, with potato, with carrots, with red sauce, right? With a few more vegetables. And my mom and my grandma, they would always say, eat with bread. This was a thing from our culture when we were young. And I was like, that's how everyone gets fat. Bro. A loaf of bread is 270 calories, right? And
Yeah.
if you're downing 3 to 5, bro, you have 1,200 calories from just bread.
Yeah.
Just a piece of bread. Like, that's not food, bro. It's just an addition. And so you're adding this into all the meals. You have meat, kibbe with
And the rice is already the carbs.
bro,
But why do you need
bro,
the bread?
You have rice and potatoes and bro, who has rice and potatoes and bread? So I know since I was young, man, if I'm eating a piece of meat, every time have bread with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's one of those. So we have a lot of preconceived ideas. Like let's say, so my grandma would tell me, never have milk after fish. Why? Is it scientifically proven? Did someone say something? Did a doctor tell you? No,
Yeah.
just my mom and her mom and her mom. They just said never have milk after fish.
But then you know what it is? But her mom's son
Yeah,
had milk after fish
yeah,
and got sick for a week.
yeah,
And that taught her,
yeah.
yo, that's bad. And
Exactly.
he went down the chain.
50 minutes, bro. So we haven't even like, bro. I just think
We
that was
haven't,
all bro.
so-
That was all surface
So
area.
that's it. I tried asking you a couple questions about life in Saudi,
Yeah.
and we learned about bread culture. That's what I'm saying. This year is the year of rabbit holes. People are gonna jump on this podcast, and we're doing this all sober. That's the thing. That's the problem. It's is this signs of ADHD? ADHD's gone mainstream. Everyone talks about ADHD. Is this signs like, do we need to take like a Adderall or a Ritalin tablet that can keep us focused on just asking the questions, or just let the brain flow?
Bro, just let the brain flow. You have to let the brain flow, especially since now there's too much stimulus. Like, you just cannot move on in life now without having notifications. Like now we have notifications from football games. You know, you've got from Uber Eats, you've got from this person, you've got WhatsApp Business, WhatsApp Normal, Instagram. Like I try to take off as many notifications as I can
have them
because
all
of
off.
stimuli. Yeah,
All my social media, I haven't had it in for years.
just WhatsApp.
Because WhatsApp, yes, me too. Just
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
because- yeah.
And I have a lot of WhatsApp group chats on mute because some people like. The thing is, there's a couple people. How old are you?
25, bro.
Oh, 25. Okay, lucky. There's 25.
Yeah.
Damn, you're young, bro.
Well, how old?
Bro, this guy's 25. He lives in Saudi. He worked with the World Cup. Bro, mashallah, man, you're killing it, bro.
Uncle, bro. Wallah, I'm old, bro.
Bro, what the hell? This whole time, bro. Who would have thought? No one would have thought you'd be 25. I thought you would. That's why I was going to ask you.
Get my
No,
haircut,
that's
bro.
why I was going to ask you, are you over 30? Because I was going to say, bro, I hate people over 30 on social media. Because people over 30 on social media, he's got the maturity, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
Bro,
Appreciate it, wallah.
Like, what the hell? I just think, the thing is, look, the Arabs, man, you guys got a lot of hair and the beard's fully developed and everything. I think that's just,
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Goatee at 14, like
Yeah.
mini goatee. So, you know.
But 25 is crazy.
Well, bro, there's the baby face under it. Trust me. You know, maybe one day, like every
You've
5
done a
years,
shave. I think I've seen you.
Yeah, every 5 years I'll do a full shave.
Yeah.
And I just like to surprise people. Bless you, bro.
Thank you. But what I was going to say was, I don't know what I was going to say. No, I was going to say, I hate people over the age of 30 because they send you just reels and they send you links and they send you unnecessary videos. And it's not even like reels. Like me personally, I'm not a fan of reels. Like I send reels back and forth. I can only do it with like 4 people.
Yeah.
I can't do it with everyone else. But the thing is, the people over 30, I always get random reels by people sent over 30. And if I've left 10 reels on scene, and this is not only one person, I always call out Jordan Berry for this, but you're not the only guy that does this, Jordan Berry. There's a couple other over 30s. they'll send you reels and they send it into group chats.
Yeah.
And the problem is they don't know their videos are being left unseen sometimes. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Can
my friends who I do this to, I'm sorry.
We've been doing this pod for 45 minutes. Should we start asking questions? Should I start asking questions or should we continue this? Because we're not going to finish the pod.
Look, ask the question, but let me just say this.
Yeah.
About the reels, 100%. At this point, watching reels is like a job, bro. Imagine at the end of your work day, right? You know, I'm coming home. When I go on Instagram, 7 reels from this guy, 3 reels from that guy, 16 reels on the group. And it's like, bro, you have to go through each one. And then the rabbit holes of the comment sections. And then you're randomly on the Zionist page. And you're like, bro, what the hell is he saying? Why is he so, bro? Why haven't they banned his account from all the stuff he's talking about? And now I'm angry again. And now I'm on Twitter. And now I'm searching about something that happened. And I'm like, bro, how are we doing? And you go into this rabbit hole because you need to do your daily after work job of checking reels. No, bro, I like to create content way more than I consume.
Yeah.
Content. So for me, it's like, if I'm on social media, let me be creating content. Create in this life. Do not just consume, and know that like consumption, bro, just like food consumption, you know,
too much of it,
bro. You know,
it's
you
bad.
can be in a calorie deficit and have Popeyes and KFC every single day. You're in a calorie deficit. You're gonna be skinny fat. Your body's gonna feel bad, right? Same thing with the brain. When you wake up in the morning and you read forest fires this, plane crash this, like you're just getting bad information. This country went into debt. This country went into bad information. You're waking up in the morning and you're telling yourself like, hey, here's 10 bad things that have happened. How are you going to start your day well? So you can now go ahead with the questions. Bro.
All right, let's start with the questions. Yeah, let's start this episode. Welcome to the podcast. How is it? How many languages do you speak?
So this is a question that I always get that's very confusing, and that people sometimes overhype, and I get embarrassed because they overhype it.
Yeah.
Like, he speaks 73 languages.
Yeah.
I speak 4 languages: English, Arabic, Portuguese, and Spanish. Like, I can have full conversations with them and understand people for hours. That's my determination of fluency, right? Not that I can write. Can I go? And for Brazilian Portuguese, I confirmed that a couple of months ago when a lot of Brazilians came for the big Saudi League games, and I would go out with them for hours and speak to them in just Portuguese, maybe a few words here and there in English where I go like, oh, bro, I don't know this word. But I did this challenge where I sang a song from every country in the world. Why? I was just, one day in the middle of COVID, I was bored, and I was like, how many countries do I know a song from? And it was like 62. I was like, and most of these songs I've somewhat memorized. I was like, and they were a rap. So I was like, why don't I do that from every country? Like, I know it'll go absolutely viral, right? And so that's how I got to be able to rap and sing in different countries and get to know the languages. And obviously some languages I'll know a few words more and a few more phrases and a few more cultural things. But I think like overall, just the ability to listen to these different sounds for me is enough. You know, there's a lot of polyglots out there who can genuinely speak like 20, 25 languages, right? I consider 4 languages nothing. Like, I see the polyglots out there, you know, the ones who do the interviews in public and they speak Kurdish and they speak Brazilian Portuguese, then they speak like, you know, some random language.
My favorite guy is the Korean guy that speaks Egyptian Arabic.
Yeah. Falafel kimchi.
That's the one. I think so. Yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah. He's been very good recently with his switching between Arabic dialects and understanding that culture. So
I just love the subtle racism. When they go, he's just walking in a market, they look at him, they go, ni hao ma.
And the guy looks like, "Kif halak?"
Sure.
But you know, bro, I love that because I feel like we always just, you know, we take that lighthearted jokes with each other, you know, like, and there was even the video by Sushi Mango, Ted Stetics, and Ibi. You know, so the one in the, like, across the court, yeah, across the court, and they'll be like, you know, so the Italian immigrants and the Arab immigrants, and they're like just making fun of each other, like, hey, have a nice day, see you, Kazi. Like, I love how you can transcend through different languages and cultures to all of this stuff, and so
I love that, man. I want to speak on that because I think people take that, like with us, we make jokes about everyone, bant with everyone, but I love every culture in the world. I genuinely like have this appreciation, and I love learning about different cultures and stuff. And I might make a joke, this is this, whatever. Like little, what are you guys gonna do? You know, like for example, I'm like, you're Arab, so you got a beat already by like 10.
Exactly.
But like, it's not like I'm sitting here and I hate Arab people. It's not out of hate. It's banter. It's love. And I think laughter brings people together.
And I mean, that's what it is. Like, I mean, at least for me in school, I didn't go to school in Australia. I went to school in the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, where there was a very international school. So you're talking about 200 different nationalities at that school. 192, I remember they did some international day. They counted 192 different nationalities at that school. Oh. So everyone would just make fun of each other. Everyone. Indian guy makes fun of a Lebanese guy. Lebanese guy makes fun of Korean guy. Korean guy makes fun of the American guy. Everyone makes fun of each other for something, and we all just get on the football pitch and have fun or go to a party. Like, we just enjoy it. And that's, I think, something that you get in the Arab world because people are just very lighthearted. They like to joke.
I don't think it's an Arab world thing. I think it's genuine every country.
Yeah. I mean,
you get it, European countries.
I mean,
you get it from...
Maybe social media these days has gotten a bit of the snowflakes outside where now, everyone complains about something. Like there are videos where where I see white people being like, this is offensive to Arabs. And I go like, it's not. Or this is offensive to Latinos. And the Latinos go like, no, he's invited, to the fiesta,
That's the new thing. That's the new thing now where people be like, I'm Latino and I found this funny. So they'll like comment, for example, that. They'll say, it's not offensive.
Yeah, or he's invited to the cookout, he's invited to the fiesta, he's invited to the debke,
Yeah.
Everyone's invited. We just want more people to come to our events,
Yeah.
When we do a barbecue, we just want to bring more people.
Yeah.
We want to buy more meat. We want to buy more we want to do chicken wings. Oh, you have this spice that you want. We want you to do everything. So going back to languages, I think like for me this year, the goal is to complete Portuguese. And what do I mean by complete? Because, I said I'm fluent and I can have these conversations, but I want to genuinely diversify myself in the slang. One thing I did very well in Spanish and Arabic is the slang. I did not learn them traditionally. I learned them by speaking and listening to people. So I want to be able to conversate better. I have a lot of Brazilian Portuguese knowledge, but because I'm not always around Brazilian Portuguese people, practicing is much harder. Latinos is really easy because when I was in Australia, there's a big Latin American community here. Colombian, Mexican,
there's
even
Chile.
from Uruguay.
There's a Chile community.
Chile is a big one.
Yeah.
We met someone from Ecuador last week. And so they're really finding Australia as a new home. And then there's places like Miss Collins, Lion at Melbourne Central, where they do specifically Latino nights. Brazil, much less here. There is a community, but most of them are in Gold Coast. Fantastic churrascaria place over there, which is basically barbecue, Brazilian barbecue. Fantastic, fantastic.
What language do you think in?
What language do I think
in? Your brain, what language are you thinking? English, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic?
So, it depends if I'm writing. It depends if I'm speaking, like into a voice note. It depends if I'm actually thinking.
Just to you, you're just thinking.
So just between me and myself, I would say it's a balance between English and Arabic, or as we call it, Arab Rizz,
Yeah.
I think, sometimes I'll think in Spanish, like when I want to get a bit creative or be like, when I'm bored of English and Arabic, I'll think in Spanish or think in Portuguese. And it's good because it tests you. It's, again, frontal lobe thing. Because when you're in English, you're like, okay, khalas, everything's comfortable. I know everything in English. I'm not surprised by any new words in English. But Portuguese, I'll speak to myself. And even this, when it goes to like voice notes, that's how I find out what words are strong and not strong in my vocabulary, right? Because when you actually speak it, you realize, I don't know the word for mixing. I don't know the verb for mixing. So I need to know what the verb for mixing is. You can only do that if you speak.
Yeah.
And you just got to realize that in the long run, bro, no one really laughs at you. There'll be a few people, there'll be a few.
No, there's that little banter joke. Yeah. But I like that. I love it because you try it.
I've never gotten a Brazilian or a Latin American person in general making fun of me because of that. But the name that I have on Instagram, Karalius, which I'm assuming maybe is one of the questions later, this is important in Brazilian Portuguese because the way I got that name is when I wanted to do the Every Country Challenge, I was looking for words in different languages. Like I was just learning different languages in the different countries. And so I was like looking for different words. I came across this word in Lithuanian, which is Karalius, pronounced Karalius, right?
I thought it was Karalius.
It's Karalius, yeah.
I thought it was Karalius, yeah? Karalius.
Yeah, but I like to say Karalius. I like the IU, right?
Because I saw the A in the end, Karalius.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a video where you were speaking Portuguese on a radio or something.
Yeah.
And she said MC Karalius. Karalius.
Yeah. So basically, I took this name, Lithuanian. It means king in Lithuanian, all right? And then I'm in Gold Coast, and we're about to go into like one of these events that they're making for like the travelers in Gold Coast. And I'm waiting in line, and there's a Brazilian person, and we're like, "Oh, you're Brazilian? Oh, nice to meet you. Prazer conhecer você." We're speaking in Portuguese. This was when I was first beginning, and so like I literally just had the "nice to meet you, how are you?" This was absolutely at the beginning. And she goes like, "What's your name?" And that was the first week that I put my artist name on social media. And I was like pretty excited. I was like, you know what? I come to Gold Coast. This is what I'm going to tell people. My name is Karalius. I'm not going to be like Ammo, right? And I go like, "My name's Karalius." And she bursts out laughing. She's bursting out laughing. I'm like, "Why? Karalius? What's wrong with that?" And she goes like, Do you know what your name means in Brazilian Portuguese? I'm assuming you're not allowed to swear on this podcast.
No, you
but
can.
Bro, it basically means the equivalent of fuck or a group of dicks.
Hey, yo. What?
Pause. You know?
Pause.
Like, bro.
What?
And so, caralho. Caralho. When you say, you go like, caralho, man. It means like, fuck, man. Or like, caralho specifically as a word means like dick. But, so, I was like, after that day, I was like, I really like this name, man. But like, Brazilian Portuguese as an audience, like even at that point, I was like 4 years from now, and I'm on the 3rd year now. 4 years from now, I want to build a Brazilian audience. And so I was like, I got to change the name. But then I met a lot of Brazilians, and they, I was at the World Cup working in Qatar. I was living with Brazilians, and I had a necklace, Karalius, right? And so I didn't even need to tell them my name was Karalius. They looked at the necklace and they just pissed themselves laughing. And I go like, okay. But then I realized it was a good type of banter. It wasn't like a bad thing. And they were all like, bro, if you come into Brazil and do your viral content, like if you do a song from every state in Brazil or a restaurant from every state or something about every different culture in Brazil, they're like, with that name, MC Karalius, because MC is what they call all of their artists. You got like MC Leleto, you got MC Leozin. So they're like, if you call yourself MC Karalius, you will be the most famous person there. Yeah. And at that point, like midway through the World Cup, at the beginning, it was like you'd see the Brazilians saying Caralho, like, oh, Caralho, man. And they'd be angry when they say it, right? But then midway, they're saying Caralho with a smile on their face. Why? Because they don't call me Mo. They don't call me Caralho. They go like, hey, Caralho, how you doing? And it's just like, I'm there at a Brazil-Croatia match, and all these Brazilians are like, why are they shouting Caralho to this random guy in the middle of the street?
Yeah.
And you explain to them, and they go like, that is amazing and disturbing at the same time. But I love it. And you know, Brazilians, man, Brazilians are just different when it comes to like...
Bro, they bring a different energy, man. Every time I meet them, just vibes, bro.
I've never had a bad interaction with a Brazilian.
But you know what I think it is?
Yeah.
We grew up because we watched the R9s, the Ronaldinhos. There was a certain joy they brought us.
Aura.
They had aura before aura, but they brought us this certain kind of joy, this Brazilian football, this team between this period of like I'd say 2000 for me, 2002ish to like 2006. Yeah. There was this joy they brought to us, and love, and even like I remember my dad, who's a casual football fan, watching them, and then it's like you bring this love to Brazil. So whenever you hear Brazil, you think of all these great guys, but then you have this, so you already have this positive impression of them, and then you meet them, and they're like the greatest people you've ever met. You're like, what the hell? I love Brazilians,
bro. Like, especially in the Arab world, especially in the Middle East, we grew up and Brazil was like this phenomenon. You know, it's like you're talking about Ronaldo, like the aura before aura that the name Ronaldo had, like in the Arab world. Like you just say Ronaldo, like, you know, Messi, he'll always be a GOAT, he'll always be a great. But it's like Messi now, right? But like the name Ronaldo, way before Cristiano Ronaldo even, Ronaldinho, you just knew, like there was aura walking in. And the way that, bro, like, you know, now, like I love football these days, but one of the things that football has become a bit too professionalized, a bit too technological. Brazilians just brought fun to the game. Yeah. Like, there was the starting era where everyone's getting to know how to play the game, and there's now the professional era where almost everyone who's playing football, it's either a semi-pro job or it's a pro job. But then there was that period of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s where Brazilians just came in and was like, it has nothing to do with how much you train, it's how much you love the game. Joga bonito, which is play amazingly, play fantastic, play wonderfully, like, you know, bonito, play beautifully, right? So Brazilians always like to bring that energy, whether it's in music, and you look at their music, whether it's samba, whether it's baile funk, it's always high energy, right? Like even in the songs that they're sad, you could just tell there's a different energy they bring.
What's the dance they do when they do it in sequence?
So are we talking about baile funk dance or samba?
Samba,
yeah.
They do it all in sequence or something. I've seen like a
so like example, when you go to a churrascaria, there'll be like three ladies, they're dancing, one is singing, they'll have a thing and they'll do it in unison together, and it's always a nice vibe. You know, you go in and you've got this beautiful music. And even the first ever game that I played, 2006 FIFA World Cup on the PS2, there was a song that was remixed with Black Eyed Peas, Mashkina da Black Eyed Peas came to make it ha. So that's originally a Brazilian samba song, and it just has the most insane vibes. Like if you go into a hotel and listen to that song, you just feel like,
have you been?
No, I have not. But inshallah,
how
October 2026. after the World Cup in the US, Canada, and Mexico, end of the season, watch the Brazilian Cup final, watch the Libertadores final, watch the Brazilian League last few weeks of the season, and I just want to go to Brazil. And I'm going to tell this to you. I haven't spoken to anyone about this, but a long-term plan I do have is, and I shouldn't be saying this idea. Somebody could easily take it, but like I don't care. I like speaking.
Don't worry,
about these
copyrighted,
ideas,
talking trophies.
Copyrighted, but using this Brazilian Portuguese, bro, I really want to go to Brazil one day, right? And understand their love for football, right? England the same, but Brazil even more. Because the way that football grew in Brazil, the way it brought a culture together, the way it brought the whole nation together transport-wise, is so fantastic. I want to go to Brazil and go to and basically find my team in Brazil by actually experiencing as many different stadiums, matches, and fans that I can. But doing it as a gringo obviously being the equivalent of foreigner, being a gringo, doing the content in Brazilian Portuguese, learning Portuguese on the go, learning new things about Brazil on the go, and they get to see a person who's never been to the country before experience Brazil. And I think that's just maybe gonna be one of the most surreal journeys of my life, and I cannot wait to do it. Like, it's a bucket list type thing. You know?
You got to do it. My friend went to Brazil recently, actually, and he just said, you go to the beach, and people are juggling footballs. It's a love. And he's like, the weather's beautiful. It's a vibe everywhere you go. There's just a unique energy. There's something about Brazil that's just insane.
Man, I love the food. I love the music. I love the language. I love the culture. I even love watching their series. And they've got a word or a phrase which they say, which is tamo junto. Tamo junto, like and it'll be written like TMJ if you see it on any Brazilian post.
Tamo junto.
Tamo junto, you know, tamo junto, irmão, tamo junto, família. It just means we are together. But obviously, it's like, you know how you have Arabic phrases where you just say it and it's like, يعطيك العافية, which is may God give you strength. But you can say يعطيك العافية to any situation. They go like tamo junto. It's like, you know, we're in this together. Like, bro, I love you, bro, tamo junto. You know, it's just like, we're in this together. And that's what I love about Brazilians. It's always together. And going back, you see, one thing we do here is rabbit hole, but we also make connections to previous parts of the conversation. We spoke about Debke, and I talk about how I love it being together. That's one thing about Brazilians, right? Together, collective, not just individualistic, right? And one of the things is actually Debke is becoming more and more popular in Brazil.
But there is a large Lebanese community. There's a large Lebanese diaspora in the South America.
Hit you with maybe one of the most repeated
and
Lebanese.
That's the biggest diaspora outside of Lebanon.
Exactly. You know, as
bro, I'm telling you, bro, I swear, I know most random facts. This is information that's not going to benefit me one bit. And I don't know why I know all these random facts. It's a good thing I have a podcast because I use it and use it in conversations.
Exactly.
But like, bro, I wish I learned things better that could help me become a multi-billionaire.
100%.
Why do I know that the highest Lebanese diaspora outside of Lebanon is in Brazil?
You need to find out how to sell $1 million worth of something to 10 people, bro.
That's it.
$10 million, you know? But yeah, Lebanon, 3 million people or 3 million Lebanese in Lebanon. And then in Brazil, you've got between 7 to 14 million Lebanese people there. More Lebanese people in Brazil than there is in Lebanon. This is one of the most repeated phrases by Lebanese guys trying to pick up girls in English, right? The Rizz in Arabic is unmatched, but when they try to speak English, sometimes it's, you know, that in Brazil, there is more Lebanese people than in Lebanon. Wow, really? You know, my uncle, actually, he's in Brazil, multi-billionaire. And if I tell you, you know that there's Lebanese people in West Africa, right? Lebanese people all the way down here in Australia. Lebanese people probably in Mongolia.
So Sydney's not the highest?
Sydney's
second, sorry.
I think Sydney is one of the... Sydney, I think, possibly second. But one of the highest Lebanese populations around the world is Sydney. But like, man, you go to Senegal, there's a large Lebanese community there. They've integrated themselves into the community. Mexico, massive. US, of course. UK, not as much in the UK as the US, Brazil, Mexico, Canada. Canada.
Yeah, I met heaps in Montreal, though. A lot of them are in Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal,
you know,
because of French, you know, Montreal and all of that. France, also a massive one. So you'll find Lebanese people everywhere, you know, and I think there's a few countries, Lebanon, Nigeria, Brazil, Indonesia, Russia even. These are the countries, in China, I'm going to add countries to this, but
India.
Like these countries, India, you can find one person of these countries in almost every country in the world, besides maybe Oceanic Islands. Like, you're not going to find a Lebanese guy in Cook Islands, you know, 4,000 people there. You're not going to find a Lebanese guy or Brazilian there. But I guarantee you, one of those nations, you could probably find a random Nigerian, a random Brazilian guy just in Cook Islands working. It's like, why are you working there? Bro, I just wanted to work in peace. I just wanted to fly into the middle of nowhere, work on a small island and just get to know the people.
Yeah.
that's the way it is, bro. We love just going outside to the world and creating our own mini communities and sharing that love with the rest of the world, which is contrary to what we're seeing on X these days. I don't know if you've been on Twitter, but man,
And I actually got off X for a while, man. It's been a couple months. I've taken a break from it. Now, I'm big on it. I'm a big fan of X. I just think right now it's just a bit hectic, man. Just too much going on. And a lot of people, I think people are blaming Elon Musk, whatever, for it. But like, I think people have been held back for the last 5 years, and they're just letting go, and then they're gonna get bored after all this hate, and then people are gonna figure out, okay, this is a bot account, this is a real account, and then things are just gonna simmer down, and then that's when I'll jump back on and see the tweets.
But you know, for the most part, there's a huge divide between what's on Twitter and what's in real life. Like, you know, again, it's one person's situation, it's one person's experiences. You know, you can't, like, a lot of people have, in my position, experienced racism or experienced discrimination, but I do see that there's, like, the amount that you see on Twitter, it's not the same in real life. Like, the amount of people that I've met from different cultures that are just very open, just very open-minded, very welcoming, it's way more. Like, you would think when you get off Twitter, like, oh my God, I'm going to meet a white person today, they're going to hate me because I have a beard. It's not really the case. But at the same time, I think what's important to take into account is Twitter. Let's be honest, right? Think of it this way. If you have a Lebanese and a Brazilian guy being like, man, I love your culture, I love your culture, are people really going to interact? Yeah, a bit. But now let's say you have a Lebanese and Brazilian guy having beef, being racist to each other, being stereotypical to each other, right? People are going to be like, oh, there's beef. Oh my God, this beef's so funny. Look at the memes. Look at the... So people like to read that stuff. People want to go crazy. That's why Twitter right now is so successful. Like, whatever people say, the numbers on Twitter are absolutely insane. And the reason is because of that For You page and how it's bringing, like, bro, the amount of stuff I see that I don't even, like, bro, I have a football account, Saudi League. Why is something about the U.S. elections, not even U.S. presidential elections, like I'm talking about something regional election, why is that coming up to me? Like, I have no interest in that. I never search about that. But, you know, it's good that you're off Twitter. I think it's very good to be off for your mental.
For a while. I've been off for a while. I'm going to maybe get off Instagram as well. It's just, there's like a few people I'm like, oh, I want to continue talking to. Yeah. I enjoy speaking to them on things. But I think I'm going to get off it as well. I think I'll just probably do a reset. It's just
too much.
I might just do a reset, to be honest. Just have an account, all boys, no girls allowed. You know what I mean? And that's it. Just
focus on the alpha male stuff, bro. Just focus on the hustle.
Just Andrew Tate videos. Just Andrew Tate videos telling me that I'm not good enough and I'm not a quality man. Just in general. I'll probably be off it just to just close friends, whatever, just family, and that's it. Like nothing else. Just a reset.
Yeah, like I used to, and now that I say this, I realize I didn't do it this year, but. Because of the nature of my work, it's very hard to do.
Just make a private account.
But in COVID times, I used to do a detox, like full on 2 weeks.
No, I remember you used to do that. I rember you used to say it. You used to be those guys that used to announce it. I don't know why you announced it. It was corny as I'm like, bro, just get off. You know what I mean? I should have messaged you, bro, just get off. But a couple of people in Melbourne do that. They get off social media, but they'll have to let the whole world know. But in the day, you are a content creator and it's your business.
Yeah, but I agree with you completely. And that's why I stopped doing it because, like, man, you're taking a detox, and in the end, people follow on average 500 to 1,000 people these days. Like, you know, you gotta deep it like that. Like, you can watch 100 stories, right? Which is a lot of stories, but it's still maybe 5% of the people you follow, right? But even 100 stories, you're probably not watching 100 stories per day. So you have to really imagine it, right? I think people take into, like, especially if you see on people these days talking about the algorithm, like, oh, you know, the algorithm's not pushing me. But, bro, you have to know there's an insane amount of people putting out content every single day. And the reality is, I think it's just an absolute lie when people say, it's not a lie, but it's more of a coping mechanism. Like, oh, bro, I got shadow banned, bro, got this. I know there are cases of this happening, but I think...
There is 100%.
There is.
We even have these situations. We got our videotape. We got a 2-week strike. 2-week ban and stuff. Like, there's sometimes I think certain content's going to be pushed.
100%.
You know what I mean? Let's just say like the shirt you're wearing,
it's
gonna
ruin the algorithm, huh?
Like right now, because you're wearing that shirt, we're dropping by 300 views. And we normally get 400 views, so we're going to be on 100 views for this episode.
And what's crazy, if you put a star and it's a Jordan flag...
you're good, you know? We're going viral.
We're going viral.
But that one, we're going to get flagged and,
Look, it's blurry. You can't see the star. Trust me.
You know what I'm going to do? When you edit the video, just get rid of that flag there. Because that flag is going to get us... That flag's going to get us flagged.
It's crazy. But I do agree with you. There are cases of it, but I don't think the majority. I think when I look at the majority of people's content, because at this point I've been doing content for 10 years. You know, I consider myself someone who knows a lot about what content goes viral and not. Because when I did the Every Country Challenge, right, in total I did 200 videos and it reached 150 million views, 950,000 followers. But the first 6 months of me trying to do it, I posted every single day for 6 months, and I got one video that reached 1.2 million views, and the rest of the videos didn't surpass.
The Kenyan one went wild. I remember that.
Yeah, Kenyan one went wild. But this was before that I was doing that. So I had to try and test, and I kept saying the algorithm, the shadow ban, this, the copyright. Sometimes, or at the very least, right? Let's say theoretically you are shadow banned. I think it's even harder and better for you to take it as a challenge, and instead of saying, you know what, I got shadow banned, I'm going to give up on this, I'm going to make a new account, say it as, you know what, my content's not good enough. What can I do better? Because there's no perfect content in the world out there. So just keep asking yourself, what can I do better with content? And in the end, the worst case scenario is you have better content and you're still shadow banned. Okay.
Yeah.
But the best case scenario, you're not shadow banned, you go viral, and you know, and you've tested yourself. Because it's not about just making viral content and I'm sweet. You know the amount of people that have gone viral and now they're like 2 million followers and they get 2,000 views. It's because they don't know how to be consistent. It was just a flash in the pan, or they came in at a time where it was trending. Or they did something that they just did it by second nature. They didn't know how to do it. Just because they went viral doesn't mean they have the formula for it. I consider myself as someone who does have the formula for it because I've done it on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I've done it in English, Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese. I've done it in football, music, history lessons, and even in food, and even educational lessons. So this is when I can say I have the formula, because if you tell me now, all right, man, I think Sudanese football is going through an interesting rise right now, especially with the civil war going on and the national team playing its best in history and actually potentially making the World Cup, right? I want to know how I can make these videos go viral, right? Now, you can look at these in a certain way, but knowing, okay, Sudanese football, this is what's going on, this is how they can connect with the US World Cup, what is the best way to do that? Do you go on LinkedIn and write stories? I don't think that's the most ideal scenario for it. Do you go on Instagram and post carousels? Could be interesting, but does that really talk about the stories that are happening? So then you go like, okay, TikTok. But then you think TikTok, well, you know that TikTok is much more of try to push it as much as possible as opposed to Instagram, where Instagram tries to focus on your followers, right? So you need to know specifically about these different industries, different platforms, different niches of people. And that's what I think the difference is between both those things. And so social media is a world where I love how we went from languages to this. You know,
don't worry, I'm telling you, we're a unique podcast.
I'm really enjoying this, man. Talking trophies, indeed. You know?
It really is, man. We just talk here, and I think as a what time is it right now,
bro? It is 11:13. I'm just bro. I'm enjoying. I'm telling my brother, do a few more dashes. Just a couple more. Yalla. You know, there's someone ordering right now before they close. Huh?
Are we going for a record-breaking podcast right now? We're gonna do the longest podcast in Talking Trophies history.
Bro, and I guarantee, had I had more than 3 days left, would have been a completely different story. We could do a 7-hour marathon, bro. Just get the V's, you know, with a bit of caffeine.
The thing is, no, me on V's. There's sometimes I'll bring out I call it Blue V Rayvo.
Blue V Rayvo, yeah.
When I'm on the V's,
yeah,
tweaked up, bro, I'm asking you questions, cuz. And you see, I was asking the light Saudi questions, but on the Blue V, I might ask you some crazy questions. You know what I mean?
Then why don't you give me a crazy question right now?
Like, what's going on with the beheadings in Saudi? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Blue V I would have been like, I love the culture, blah blah blah. Yeah. Like how I mean, right now I said, yeah. Like, how's Saudi like? Yeah. Blue V would have been like, are they still beheading people in Saudi? Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't worry, we'll go to Saudi if you want. I got a question on that. I see the development of Saudi MBS, what he's doing for the country. Great. I personally, from what I see, I'm like, bro, these people are watching the external world on social media and they're like, why can't we have these fun, these joys, these celebrations in our country? You know? Yeah. All Muslims around the world are going, oh my God, Saudis are going wild. They're partying, Nicki Minaj is coming there, Eminem, Diplo. But for a Saudi guy, he's like, you just get Eminem in your country. You just go to Eminem concerts. You guys go to concerts. You guys go to festivals. You guys go to cinemas. Yeah. Why is it an issue when we do it? And why are you guys going off at us and saying we've lost the plot?
Well, see, this is the thing that I think that Western and even Arab media sometimes, I think it's been very unfair. I've always heard the negative comments about Saudi Arabia, and there is no country or culture in the world, no political system, no nothing that doesn't come with its caveats, that comes with its wrongs, right? But there is this sort of spotlight on Saudi that somehow it's worse. And indeed, if Saudis have fun, there's an asterisk next to it. If Saudis defend their country, there's an asterisk next to it. And I think that's unfair. I think a lot of people just look at Saudis as different type of humans, and I just think they are different types of humans, but not in that way. Just like an Uzbekistani guy is different to a Brazilian guy, normally, I think Saudis are just a different type of humans. But the way that the media has portrayed it makes them seem like evil. You know, makes them seem evil. Like, I'll even go to a point where, and I like to think about this in ways of where if I genuinely don't know something, like North Korea, right? It's not something that I've been able to delve into very deeply, right? But we know what we hear about North Korea, right? But in the end, if you ask me what's your opinion on North Korea or North Koreans or what do you think of that, I'll tell you, I simply can't make an opinion because I have not done enough of that research, right? But when you think of North Korea, when someone says North Korea, naturally we think, oh, something bad, something like, you know, something this, that. Why? Because of the way that the media has portrayed it. So I think there is this, I mean, I don't think I've spoken to foreign journalists in Saudi Arabia who work for foreign press, and there is a clear agenda by a lot of them that say, oh, you're bringing us a story of unity between different cultures in Saudi. We don't want that story. We need something about sports washing. We need something about beheadings. We need something about Islamic barbaric culture. That's literally what they say. We need something that gets us views. And I think that's just the way it is, right? Like, think about it even when it comes to Saudi football. Are you going to get views if you talk about this was a successful week in Saudi, 60,000 fans attended the game, was a fantastic match? No one cares. But if you say a fan threw a water bottle at Ronaldo in Saudi, that's going to make the headlines, right? But a fan throwing water bottle at Ronaldo in Italy, oh yeah, he threw it. Yeah, move on to next week. But with Saudi, it's going to be like, oh my God, they don't deserve football. The fans don't know how to behave. They're absolute. But like, we've seen hooliganism in the UK. We've seen hooliganism all across Europe. We've seen hooliganism all across the world. It's not about a specific culture this or a specific culture that, right? And so there's certain things, like even when it comes to like the 2026 World Cup, right? And I say this with all due respect again. The US, we know how many mass shootings there have been, right? No one has talked about boycotting the US World Cup by saying, I don't feel safe to go to a stadium where there is genuinely a possibility of a guy pulling up and shooting at people, right? Don't care about the ethnicity or the religion, but there's genuinely a possibility. Aren't you scared of that? Yeah. Okay. Canada. Oh, Saudi doesn't have a football culture. They don't deserve the World Cup. Canada's way younger than Saudi when it comes to football. Football is not even a top 3 sport in Canada. And Canada have just qualified to the World Cup for the second time in 2022. They don't even really have a strong league, and their best team plays in the US, right? So if we're going to use that, why has no one talked about boycotting the World Cup in Canada? Because of the lack of football culture. And Mexico, and by the way, all due respect, I love my Mexicans, I love my Mexican people, but if you want to look at it from a statistical perspective, top 20 countries in the world when it comes to crime rate, right? No one's talking about that. Now, I'm not saying boycott these countries. I don't want, I want to see that World Cup there. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, why does Saudi or Qatar not deserve a World Cup because of a few bad things that they do, or that you say they do even? Because a lot of these things, by the way, not verifiable. And it's just like, oh yeah, we spoke to someone. Who's the someone, right? But, you got to apply the same concept, right? Spain, Portugal, Morocco. We didn't hear anything about them. Not that I want. Again, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, for me.
That's the 3 languages you
Brother,
speak.
Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese.
Right, you've been covering. You're going to be the commentator, cause.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But that's the point. Like, I can sit down and dig deep into each of these countries and look at the bad. But for me, I just don't go into the world with the mindset of I want to hate anyone. If you ask me if there's a potential that North Korea could be absolutely the opposite of what we think of them and what the media says about them, and they could be good.
And the country's just popping off. Life is good there. Everyone's celebrating, but we don't know nothing about it.
Why would I say no? Why would I want to hate them?
Yeah.
Why would why do I don't want to hate anyone, man? Right? I want to learn as much cultures and languages as possible.
I think you say something in through empathy and curiosity, you learn diversity of cultures.
Exactly. And there is so many aspects, like even aspects of Lebanese culture where I just go like,
that's a bit
odd. That's a bit like, okay, like it's funny to a point, but now it's just a bit creepy or it's just a bit weird. But I don't think there's any culture in the world that's just perfect, bro. Because, okay, let's go to different extremes, right? There are cultures where, for example, like in the Arab culture, like the whole being actively sleeping around, whether as a man or a woman, it's looked down upon, right? And especially religiously. But I'm not even talking about from a religious perspective. Even in the Arab culture, like there's no culture where you go like openly, right? But like in Scandinavia, like I remember I was speaking to a few Scandinavian people in Saudi. They go like, no, relationships are very different there. You can have just, casual sex relations. It's not a thing in the Arab world. But for them, right, they might consider that, no, that's the perfect part of the culture. But for Arabs, they go, no, this is a perfect part of our culture. Like, we love that we don't have this. And then Scandinavians will be like, no, we love that we have this. And so life is all about perspectives. So therefore, there is no possibility for a culture that is compatible. We are all immigrants in this world. There is no such thing. So when you combine the Swedish and the Iraqi culture, you're just creating a new thing. And the Swedish culture was a combination of a different set of subcultures. And those set of subcultures were a combination of different things. And that's why I think, like, if you were to ask me a question like, bro, what's like, you're coming into 2025, what do you think is like the biggest pressing topic on our minds? I would say like, it's this, we're at a boiling point when it comes to cultures. We have a chance to be the most connected, united world of all time, of all the eras, but we also have the potential to have the biggest war of all time, right? Maybe, I don't think this is in our lifetime. I think it's still maybe 50, 100 years ahead, right?
It's cooking up.
Yeah, but it's cooking, but slowly, right? But that either world unity or world war, like we are on the precipice of either, and we can literally go in either direction. And that's what makes it so interesting with 8 billion people, because there's so much diversity. And you've got a group of people that think diversity is the root of all evil, and you think there's people that think diversity is the root of all positivity. I'm definitely in the second group. I don't think diversity brings evil. I think a lot of conformity does bring problems, because when you all think the same things, when you're not able to have disagreements, right? That's when, because having healthy disagreements is what makes diversity work. It's when you're unable to actually get disagreements done, that's when problems happen. People start bringing out swords, people start bringing out guns, people start bringing out, I'm going to be angry, nah, man. Just chill, kick back, and accept that,
Except that Saudi's winning, won the bid for the World Cup, and the World Cup's going to be jumping in Saudi.
Yeah, I mean, look, what are
and
you going to do in the end?
They're going to build stadiums the size of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, like, look, you're not happy that Saudi won the World Cup?
No,
Okay. Yeah,
I'm personally, like, for example, like even with MBS, I'm like, I get what he's trying to do with the country. You can see what he's trying to do. People think he's the source, like from the West, the source of all evil. But I'm like, nah, this guy grew up in Saudi. He's like, yo, he probably went around the world. And he's like, you know what? I can bring this to my country and make this country a great country. And we don't need to be just an oil-dependent country.
Well, I mean, this is the funny thing, right? And this is how I think it's unfair. To the West, Saudi doing this is sports washing, right? And, you're just trying to clean your image, and that's bad. Okay. Then you get from the Arab world, and they say, you're opening up too much, and you're trying to diversify. That's also bad. So we're not allowed to grow as an economy. We're not allowed to do things better.
I love how proud you are of Saudi. You're saying we.
I'm saying it as them, but like, man, they make me feel at home.
Shout out to them.
And like, for me, as a Lebanese person, I think inclusivity and diversity is the most important thing. We have 18 different sects. We have different languages. We have different dialects, different ways of living in a small, tiny country like that. And so I think what Saudi's doing is amazing, right? In the end, people will always criticize. I used to defend it a lot, but now I'm just talking about it because you asked me. I'm no longer angry about it. But like, in the end, come and learn, because a lot of people that you would be surprised, like this person would never fit in Saudi, have really started to love Saudi.
I loved it there, man. When I was there, man, I loved it, bro. And you know what I specifically love? I love Saudis in Saudi, but Saudis outside of Saudi are different.
Bro.
They're a little cocky at home.
Yeah.
You get a bit cocky. And I don't blame them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aussies are the best people overseas, but Aussies here are not the best. Like, they're cool, but when you meet an Aussie overseas, it's just a different vibe. They're like, yeah, Aussie, I'm Aussie. Oh my God. And then you're like, Saudis overseas, vibe.
Bro, man, I met, so in fact, one of my best memories in Australia, the Saudi club in Melbourne, Saudi Club Association, they basically took me in as one of their own. I'm an Australian citizen, and so I was a domestic student. But because I was sort of not feeling at home here when I first came, like they brought me in, they took me in Ramadan, Eid, everything, football tournaments, futsal tournaments. I'm sure you've gone to maybe those futsal tournaments in Thomastown where you have Monash Saudi team against the Epping Saudi team. And bro, I used to bring the drum, and we used to do the safga and sing and chant for the players, and it was fantastic, and do social media content for them. So for me, it was like all I can think about Saudis is, man, in times where I felt alone, like they were always there. The people there, man, for Ramadan, they'd invite me and let me sleep over at their house because, waking up for Fajr and then having the imsak and then, all the way until iftar at the end of the day. And like, I'm always so grateful. They were always nice to me, whether in Saudi or outside Saudi. Like, even when I'm in Dubai and let's say all my friends who are in Dubai, they're not there. But I mean, I just see a Saudi guy. I went to Saudi and he goes like, yeah. And because I've gotten used to the Saudi accent too, we just vibe with each other, bro. And they will make sure you are taken care of. I've never been with a Saudi where he was just like I mentioned to you, I've never been with a Brazilian who just wasn't nice. I've never been with a Saudi who's like not had me sweet, like until the end of the night or until I got home. I've never been in that situation.
What's the word you said in Portuguese? Togetherness?
Tamo junto. Yeah.
Tamo junto.
Tamo junto. And Saudis are on the same wavelength.
Hey, I don't know how we just ended up becoming promotion for Saudi. MBS, send me some Bugsies, man. I'll do a Saudi tour.
Vision 2030. Visit Saudi. Hashtag visit Saudi.
Send me over. I'll be a promoter for Vision 2030, man. Shout out.
On a serious note, when it comes to Rayvo, like, bro, I think, what you did at Qatar was really nice, and I'm really keen to see. Now, 2034 is a long time away, but this is why the 2026 and 2030 World Cups, if you do get the chance to go there, like Maghreb, bro, we got to see you in Maghreb 2030, Casablanca, Tanja, we got to see you there. But I think, you're going to be able to bring a very diverse look at Saudi during the World Cup. Because I know you're not going to do I'm at the stadium, here's Argentina against Portugal. A lot of people do that anyways. And I think what World Cups allow anyone to do is, let's say you're a fan of music, you can go to the World Cup and cover music. You're a fan of food, you can go to the World Cup and cover food. You're a fan of religion, right? You can go to the World Cup and cover that, right? You can do something where it's like you want to go Umrah, right, at that time, and contribute to your football journey there. There is so much that you can do while you're being there. And I just think people need to give it a chance, but also I'm not too fussed because Dubai, when I was younger, 2009 times, it was heavy criticism and everything. Now everyone comes to Dubai. It gets 5 million visitors a month sometimes. Like, everyone's there. Habibi come to Dubai, everyone's there.
Habibi, come to Dubai. MBS, I'm telling you, sign me up. I am gonna be your bit. Like, if countries had promotions like clubs, I'd be the country promoter for Saudi. Like, shout out Saudi, bro.
Yeah. 100%, man.
I don't know how we ended up having this podcast about Saudi. Let me see if I have any questions.
Yeah.
Bro, you translated for Neymar.
Yeah.
Tell me about that quickly before we wrap up.
1 second, bro. Yeah, so Neymar. So it's the middle
How did that happen? Yes. How did you interview Neymar?
So I arrived to Saudi in the middle of the summer heat. I'm hating my life because, the 47-degree dry heat is like even on the toughest Saudi who's lived there for over 50 years, bro, it's hot, right? And so I'm going through my days, I'm setting up for the post-summer when everyone comes back. And I start doing some content in Brazilian Portuguese about the Saudi League, but specifically about the history of Brazilians coming to Saudi. So everyone's focused on Neymar and Ronaldo coming now. I'm talking about Rivellino when he came back in 1979, moved to Riyadh. And Didi, who was one of the best Brazilian players of all time in the 50s, went to manage in Jeddah in 1977, right? Started doing those stories, managers and players from the Saudi League started following me, right? They're like, bro, like, this is really good. And like, if you want a football shirt, you want to come to any games, like, come do that, right? And so one day I get a message. It's like, hey, man, I got your number from this guy. Can you speak Brazilian Portuguese? I'm like, yes, I can. He was like, all right, so we need you to interview Neymar in 3 days. I'm like, sorry, is this Neymar Junior, like his son or something? Like, no, they're like, no, Neymar Junior himself. Neymar is going to come to the Esports World Cup. He's going to play a few games, and we need to ask him questions from different media, and we need someone who does it in Portuguese. His team don't want him to do it in English. I'm like, okay, and at the beginning, I was like, yeah, I'm going to say no. I can't do this. Or my Brazilian Portuguese isn't that good. I'm probably going to flop. I get that call, and like, I finish, and I'm thinking like, bro, this is Neymar. Right, like I'm gonna be face to face, like interviewing this guy in my fourth language. Like, how crazy, but how much my anxiety was through the roof. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, done. I'll get it done. But like, here's the questions. Go hard. I'm like, okay. No one checked anything. I just had to go in. And
how many people spoke Portuguese in the room?
Funny, so his team, his managers and all that, they were speaking Portuguese. But no one else was actually speaking, like no one else, maybe Spanish, right? French, German even, but no Portuguese. And
So you could have just said whatever. He could have said, I like apples. You could have turned around and said, I like bees.
yeah, like it could have been anything and no one would have known except him.
Yeah.
But it was a very good interview. Like he actually understood everything. I understood everything. Like I really underestimated my Portuguese knowledge at that time. And then we moved on to the second phase. So the first phase was a formal interview. So the camera was there. I was behind the camera and Neymar was here. Second one, he was doing videos with 433, like a bit of, kick-ups, stay silent until you hear a player better than you. And that's when we started to have a bit of internal dialogue. And he goes like, you're not Brazilian, are you? I'm like, no, I'm Lebanese. He goes like, oh, Lebanese. A lot of Lebanese in Brazil. I love the food, shawarma. And I'm like, oh, this is surreal. Like this is absolutely, like, I'm just here speaking to Neymar about shawarma, and I can tell, wallah, bro, like, and I have a problem with celebrities. I don't like celebrities, but Neymar, but this guy 100% would have come with me for some shy and shisha. He wouldn't have done the shisha. He would have watched me do the shisha, but he would have sat down for shy and just been like, yeah, bro, let's get some shawarma Arabi. He was so chill, and if it wasn't for the 15-minute time limit that his team had set up strictly, I definitely think, bro, we could have. And صراحة, like, I didn't even get to tell him that I have a cousin called Neymar, bro. That's his influence has reached Lebanon, bro. I think the first ever Lebanese to be called Neymar.
He's your cousin?
Yeah.
Damn, bro. He's got that pool like that.
Yeah.
And how is he as a person? How, like, off camera?
He's kickback. He's kickback. Absolutely kickback. They made it like, oh, Neymar's team's got, he's the most kickback person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like he speaks English, like he'd be like, yeah, I like it very good, good night, and Brazil #1, Saudi Arabia. Like he's just a chill guy.
Yeah. Just a chill guy that
Neymar is just, wallah, he's just
one of the greatest skillful players of all time.
Even when you see him listening to the music, like the Brazilian songs that go hard, he's just like,
yeah,
not too much, But I loved it. Though, people see that and they go like, oh, bro, you're popping off. But like, I have to say, sometimes like social media, like if I want to end on something, I would say social media, bro, it's zawaya, as we say in Arabic. It's just corners. Like this is one frame, right? No one can see what's going on there.
No one can see when you're driving across the country and then your car stops working, and you're showing us the video of your car not working, and you put in the key in the ignition, and it's clearly a battery issue, and you don't know what is going on. No one tells you about that, but they know when you're looking at Neymar. Yeah, you know what I mean. And
so, man, like in between those times, like, you look at that, you think, khalas, my career is going to change. But it kind of halted for 2 months after that. I'm like, what's going on? And then it came back up. And this is, I think, what's the most important thing for me is like, social media, we try to put up an image sometimes that we're always winning, that we're always, everything is going well. But I think authenticity is the way. That's why I really like this podcast, bro. Because you bring authenticity to life. It's not about just making sure, we don't get mistakes out in public. Because content has reached the point where, khalas, it's lives, bro. It's people's lives. Vlogs now that go through the motions, people love that. Why? Because they're seeing what a real life is. We don't want to see some perfectly made video. Edits and animations are no longer as big as they used to be. People like the actual content and not just how it looks. So I think the biggest lesson I learned from that is, first of all, celebrities not always as bad as you think they are. Second of all, like, you may get some good date. Like Neymar's thing came out of the blue. Like, I always say this, your input and your output aren't always directly linked. It's not that if you work 60 hours this week, you're making $10,000 next week. Sometimes you work 60-hour weeks, 50 weeks in a row, and then you take a break. And then 6 months after that, the fruits of all of that come through. Everything has a time. All has a time for you. And that's why, like, I say through all these years, like from when I started this journey being content, I think the best thing I can learn is as long as my input, I'm maximizing my input as much as possible, I'm going to leave the output to God, and that's going to come at its right time. Just be grateful, know what you're doing, know yourself as much as possible, try to disassociate yourself from any excuses. Always, even if people go like, that's a perfect video, haram, the algorithm didn't do you well, it did you dirty, I go like, don't say that. Don't say that the algorithm did me dirty. It's fine, bro. The video didn't work out. Nothing
Sometimes you need the catalog. I think even we experienced it when we had the Dr. Ume episode. I think... and I know people know about the podcast, but a lot of people, we call them I'm going to call them fireflies from now on. Yeah. Fireflies are people that watch the, fruit flies, sorry. Yeah, fruit flies have the shortest attention span that we know as humans. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna call a lot of people fruit flies, the ones that just see the reels, they don't really watch the content, and they're like, oh my god. So a lot of people knew about Talking Trophies, but people watched the interview. Obviously, it's a big interview, so watch a footy, and they're like, bro, you killed that, like the energy and stuff. And I could tell these guys are like, look, they never probably watched a full pod.
Yeah.
And they're like, how'd you do it? Like, how good are you? You're so good at interviewing. What the hell?
Yeah.
Even like you were able to stop him, interrupt him, even when he's talking for too long and stuff. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for I've been doing 5 years of practicing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost 5 years. We've been putting in the hard yards.
Exactly.
So when things do come, and sometimes it's just about showing up every time. You know, just show up. What is it? Rainstorm or I don't know.
Yeah, but
rainstorm or shine, success will be mine.
Yeah. and yeah, man, that's exactly it. Like the amount that you've been compounding, right? You start this from day one. Like for me, I think the fact that I started doing content when I was 13, just tweeting up until now, video content, it's just compounds and compounds because you start to know what people want. But in the end, you know, I'm not afraid to admit this. Like right now, if you look at my Instagram, I have 52,000 followers, but the engagement ain't that good. And the reason is because when you move on to different things and you try to bounce between these different things, it makes the algorithm change. Not in a way that the algorithm is doing you dirty. It's just natural. You know, you've got 50,000 people, fans that followed you because of a music challenge, and now you're doing something else. It's naturally going to change. But I don't think that's something to be shy about. I think sometimes people take social media, like you should only create content on social media if you know that what you're doing because you love it and not because of what numbers are coming out there, you know? The numbers will come and go. I've had times where I was making 25 million views a week, and I've had times where I've done 2,000 views a week after that 25 million views a week. And it's very humbling because you get to see that, you know, life is a bunch of ups and downs. But the biggest thing I would say is 975,000 followers. That was the peak that I reached on TikTok. Almost 1 million. The number doesn't mean much to me. Like, you think 975,000 followers, 15 million.
That's a crazy
likes,
number, firstly. That's a
150 million views, and you just think, numbers don't mean much, bro. Wallah, it's the quality. This conversation is, you know, like I appreciate the comments, and I always try to reply to as many comments as I can. And, you know, but sometimes you have like 2,000 comments, but they're comments on a phone, you know? And I realized, and this is what made me change my type of content I'm doing right now. I want to connect deeply. Virality is great, and I know I have ideas out there that can definitely connect with hundreds of millions of people, but I really, really cherish connection, you know? And I think that's important moving forward for me in 2025.
I think that's my favorite thing. I genuinely, with comments, this is my rule. I always comment. I only reply to comments when I use the Talking Trophies account, or if Damien, I don't know what Damien does when he uses it. Whenever I reply to things, I only reply to the first day. After the first day, I don't care what anyone comments. I let it run. Because generally, the first day is like where people that follow you and stuff, they see it. The rest is just whatever the algorithm pushes out. But I don't know if I've ever said it, but like my favorite thing about Talking Trophies is when that random person comes to me that I've never met in my life, and they're like, "Hey, what up, Rayvo? I'm loving Talking Trophies. I'm a Davey. You know what I mean? And they're like,
feeling, bro.
What's up? And I'm like, I'm like, bro, damn, like, it's such a fulfilling feeling. I don't care about all of these. And then I'm just like, yo, tell me about you, bro. Like, what are you into, bro? Like, what are you doing here? Even if I see him in a random location or something, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? What's up with you?
Yeah, what's going on exactly?
And it's like, yo, this person genuinely enjoys the conversations we have and stuff like that. And that's the only thing that's the one thing, like, it's like, and I won. I think I won it. Like, I'm like, yo, this is why I do it. So when people ask me, oh, yo, do you want to get big, whatever? Nah, I generally just want to have those conversations with those random individuals. And every now and then a div would come up. Divs are the females, we call them. But I don't know, they don't really have the courage. There's a lot of divs. 50% of our listeners last year were females. Nice. But you know what's crazy? We don't know them.
Yeah, you don't know who they are. They just
right, they don't even. And I remember when I pulled up the stat, I'm like, oh, I wrapped it up. I put on my story. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite stat this year. That 50% of our listeners are females.
0% comments or interactions.
And none of them follow. And then I'm like, to my boys, like to me, Far, you pulling? I'm like, bro, no girls follow me. My account's on private. And I don't talk to any girls. That's it. You know, like, bro, my DMs are dry. My DMs are done. And that's the person I am. I personally just, I can't entertain talking to women. I find boredom in it.
This is a whole conversation.
I know, we can get into the rabbit hole. It's 11:30. I want to wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
I want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But Yeah, man, I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's my fulfillment. So even if Talking Trophies doesn't grow, it's like, yo, someone maybe that's going through a tough week has some content to watch.
Exactly.
And something to get their mind off. You know, maybe not feeling the best about themselves, but then they get to take their mind off. These guys are having a great discussion, jumping into rabbit holes, whatever. And that might take them away, take that little bit of anxiety they have or depression or sadness they have away from them. Just that little bit. And that fraction means a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I do content.
And I think for me, the same thing, like when 2,000 people comment on a video, it's great, but they're all comments. But when one Kenyan person came up to me in Melbourne, they go like, bro, you killed it with that Kenyan song. And I go like, bro, you saw my video? And there were a lot of people, even in Dubai, in Saudi, here, that would be like, oh, wait, you're this guy who sang the Filipino rap? You like, bro, oh my God, it's amazing here. I want to suggest for you more rappers. This guy was my favorite childhood rapper. And that's why when at the World Cup, I don't know if you remember, I would go up to people from different countries and be like, I'm going to sing a song in your language and I want you to let me know like what you think, right? That is just the best feeling, man. Like some of the videos, like the Serbians I was with, the Japanese, the Spanish, the Ecuadorian, the Cameroonian, man, it was absolutely amazing. And I think those real life interactions, they are priceless. And that's what you want to do with your content, bro. Impact. And even if that impact is 5 people, but impact, bro.
5 people's 5 lives, man.
5 people's 5 lives, bro. If you can get, because again, this is such an interesting topic, but I'll try to teeter on it. But like the generation, the younger generation, the teenagers, and what their focuses are on these days, you know, a lot of them feel hopeless, bored, and a lot of them went through COVID, and that really messed up with their mental, right? If something like Talking Trophies or something like Football Stories can inspire these kids to do something better than degenerate stuff, right? Like, oh, I can start my own podcast. Or, wait, I really love gym, but I don't like the way that these 30-year-old gym content creators do it. Let me try something new. You know, I want these kids to be creative, right? I want these kids to be like, man, I'm 16. I've got free time at the end of the day. I know I can do something more interesting than just playing a game. I have nothing against gaming. I love gaming. I love PlayStation. I love watching series. But there's a limit to everything. But like, it's just so much more fun spending your 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., right? Phone off. You're just on your laptop. No disturbance, bro. You're researching something you like. You're building something you like, right? You're building a studio that you like because you want it to look a certain way. You're writing a book, bro. I'm not a good writer, but you're just writing a book to just expand your capacity to think and write, right? We can inspire those younger people to actually take upon effective things that they love. They'll become the best versions of themselves. And that's what I hope that everyone can be, just the best version of yourself.
I think my uncle has a saying he always tells his kids whenever they leave the house. And I remember when I was overseas and he said it. He said, be yourself, be your best. He always tells his kids that.
Be yourself, be your best.
And that line is one of my favorite lines. I love telling people that, and I love applying that to myself. Be yourself, be your best, have fun, you know? Even Talking Trophies, you learn a few things. You might have a laugh, but generally it's like people enjoy it, you know, and that brings me joy. So yeah, MC Karalius.
Karalius, man. Honestly, thank you so much for having me.
Nah, bro. Hey, good luck in Saudi, man.
100%,
and tell
man,
MBS, bro, if he's trying to get Talking Trophies media on this thing, send me a check and we will talk about Saudi every week and we will get shout out Saudis, bro. But well, I love the country, man.
Inshallah, man. And there's a lot of creatives coming out from Saudi, and a creative podcast is still lacking in Saudi.
If you want me to come to Saudi, brother, I will come through.
Talking Trophies
in Saudi, bro. That'd be lit.
حديث الجوائز أو البطولات. حديث البطولات. Talking Trophies.
It's what it is, man. Hey, good luck with Saudi.
Thank you, man.
Bro, this is one of our longest pods we've done.
Yeah.
But what a discussion, man.
What a discussion. And there's still so many
we have so much to speak about, but like, you know what, there's always next time.
2026, I'll be back, inshallah, in Australia, December 2025. 11 months from now, we'll be here again.
We'll lock in another episode, inshallah. Yeah. But how'd you find the interviewing skills? I want to know, because I really want to focus on my journalism. My interviewing skills as a podcast.
I love it. I didn't feel interrupted once. I didn't feel like, you overstepped your boundaries once. Like, even when, you ask hard questions, like, you know how to deliver it. Bro, I don't even think this is an interview. Like, if there was like just a lav mic here, I'd be like, bro, sitting. We're chilling, bro.
Kick it.
But no, wallah, mashallah, bro. Like, got a studio, and you guys are collabing, and you guys are doing all these things. And I'm planning to do this in Saudi when I go next. Like, I need to sort of convert the office that our agency has into more of a content production, because khalas, typing is no longer a thing. You need to start creating video content.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. That's where it is.
Well, man.
Hey, what an episode. Deeves and Davies, make sure you guys check out his page. But hey, subscribe to us. This year, we're trying to get subscribers. I think I want to get a target of 5K.
Yeah.
5K YouTube
Get that
subscribers.
YouTube monetization, man.
We got it. We just got to apply. We got to apply. That's the problem.
4,000 subscribers or 3,000?
Nah,
3,000 subscribers?
It's 1,000.
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Apply for it, bro.
we just need to apply. We have it. So Deeps and Davies, 5,000 subscribers. That's the goal this year. Let's start getting paid, because this studio needs to get paid for, because we're spending a bit of money every month on the studio. But besides that, enjoy your day, enjoy your night. Stay humble, faith.